Familiar faces and familiar places, but unfamiliar circumstances. The New London High School Whalers battle the Ledyard Colonels, but both teams will battle Mother Nature. Wind, rain, and cold. Here tonight at Pat Canamella Field on the campus of New London High School. Welcome to Game Day, live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien. And Keith, this is football weather.
It's a big-time football weather. Kind of like a monsoon out there right now, Casey. A little bite in the air. Feels like fall. Feels like football.
We are looking forward to an exciting ball game tonight. We've got the whole Game Day crew. We've got the stat guru. We've got the junior voice of Game Day. We've got the camera folks. We've got the genius Peter Wappy. We have got the literate Mike DeMoro. Everybody is ready for what should be a fantastic football game tonight. New London, of course, off of back-to-back losses. Struggling a little bit, but looking to rebound. Ledyard, of course, off of a loss themselves. Keith, why don't you tell us a little bit about what to expect tonight?
Boy, I would expect two very hungry football teams. Like you said, Ledyard, their first regular season loss, Casey, in almost a year and a half. New London coming off of back-to-back losses. Both these teams pride themselves in winning programs, winning tradition. Ledyard played last week against Bacon, lost a tough one. Felt they actually left some good football on the field, and Coach Dwayne Miranda just searching for the little things all week for the Whalers to get his kids back on the winning track.
Of course, Game Day is brought to you by the M.J. Sullivan Automotive Corner, the Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut, and Lawrence and Memorial Hospitals. We thank you to our Game Day sponsors. We are about 5 minutes away from kickoff. The captains are heading out to the center of the field. Of course, we are fortunate to have AstroTurf tonight, or it's not called that anymore, I guess, but turf.
Field turf, Casey.
Field turf. I'm dating myself.
Yeah, back in your playing days, you talked about being. How does it feel to be back home, by the way?
It's always fun to come here to the home of New London High School, and it feels very, very good to be here at Pat Canamella Field. But it's a little different because remember when I was here, there were no lights. Right now, the center of the field would have looked like a dirt swimming pool.
Quagmire, or as we called it before. You know, if you folks are listening at home, the rain is actually coming down sideways on the field right now. So if you're home, you're in your car, you're listening to the online app, you're listening to theday.com, it's a good spot to be right now, Casey O'Neill, other than being in the press box with you.
There is no better place right now than where we are. I don't envy our camera folks. Thank you very much for doing this. And all those football players and the cheerleaders out there, and the brave fans who did, in fact, come out tonight to root on their team. The captains are at the center of the field right now, awaiting the instructions from the officials. We'll have a coin toss, we'll have a national anthem, and then it will be time for football. New London High School will be in the home green and gold. The gold pants with the green shirt and the gold helmets reminiscent of the Green Bay Packers. The Ledyard High School Colonels will be in the road uniforms with the gold pants and the white tops with impossible numbers to read.
Yeah, both benches are up, Casey. Players bouncing around. Everybody's ready for some football. And I'll guarantee you one thing. This is going to be a very, very physical football game. The weather will dictate that. And I think the practices from both sides this week, from Ledyard and from London, will also dictate physicality in this game today. The game may as well be one in the trenches.
There will be plenty of storylines as we get ready, but we're going to see that New London will receive the ball going left to right in your imagination. The Ledyard Colonels will kick off to start the game. And the storylines will develop as we go on tonight. This is a kind of weather game that will provide difficulties for both teams. Both teams will have to do things that perhaps they don't want to do, and it may end up becoming which line, offensive and defensive, can control the other throughout the course of the game.
We shall see which team imposes their will. And the big storyline tonight, Casey, no sweat on your brow as we are in the booth tonight. No sweat on the brow. You're good to go. You're feeling all right. You're at home. You've got some old friends out there in the stands. You got some old friends out on the field. And this is going to be a good night for Casey O'Neill.
If I was sweating, I would just blame it on the rain. But that's okay. And there are a lot of – I opened up with familiar faces in familiar places. And, you know, a lot of the players and a lot of the coaches have been on this field before and have been here multiple times, and we are looking forward to bringing you high school football. But we are going to first take a moment for our national anthem to be sung by Sydney Ford, a sophomore at New London High School. Sidney Ford with our national anthem, and that means that it is time for some football. Some names to watch out for the New London High School Whalers tonight. They will be receiving the ball first. Of course, it starts with quarterback Melquan Gomez. Gomez, the junior quarterback, has been waiting for his time after sitting behind Danny Miranda, the quarterback of New London for the past couple of years, and tonight is his opportunity on a big stage to make something happen. Of course, you'll see a lot of skilled players on both sides of the ball, and heading back for New London to receive the kickoff is number 7, Devin Souza, along with Xavier Benson. They are the deep backs, and kicking for Ledyard will be number 4, Luke Saccone, and you're going to hear that name an awful lot, as Saccone is a two-way player for the Colonels and a very important part of both their offense and defensive secondary.
Yeah, Saccone is the Mr. Do-It-All guy, the Mr. Utility guy for the Ledyard Colonels, and London's going to be going left to right on your radio dial, and the rain's going to be going right to left. It is coming down in sheets, Casey O'Neill, and you're happy to be up here in the press box. And not only you are in the press box, but Mike DeMauro is as well.
Well, a game like tonight, when the rain like this, it means turnovers are often the factor that both teams are going to have to limit them. Saccone with a squib kick instead comes up to Star Stokes. And Stokes is up to the 35-yard line, and that will be where New London takes its first possession. Interesting opening. I think they were looking for an early turnover.
Yeah, probably there, Casey. And if Coach Jimmy Bunicor loves his front seven, well, he's going to get a look at him early. New London puts their offense on the field against Ledyard's strong, senior-laden defensive front.
And going into the season, that offensive line of the Whalers, a very young Whalers team, however, senior leadership on the offensive line with Bobby Maynard, Greg Newkirk, Sean Brown, and Anson Wang, all seniors on that offensive line. The Whalers will set up shop, 1st and 10, from their own 35-yard line. Gomez will be in the shotgun, and we'll see what that Ledyard line can do. Snap will go directly to Gomez. Handoff off left tackle, it goes for a gain of about 4 yards. That was to Jelani Gilbert. Gilbert is a junior running back, and we'll see more from him tonight than we have in the past. A nice gain of perhaps 5 on first down, bringing up 2nd and 5 for New London.
Simple little handoff, left side on the offensive line. Probably see a lot of simple football tonight, Casey, with the weather.
Big Major Roman split wide right for the Whalers. This time the handoff goes. Gomez keeps it. Gomez has a seam. Gomez is in the open. Gomez is at the 30. Gomez is at the 20. Gomez is at the 10 and down to the 5-yard line. Melquan Gomez with the first big play of the game for the New London High School Whalers.
Yeah, head coach Jimmy Bunicor from the Ledyard team was really taken back by some of the big plays that his defense was burnt by last week against Bacon Academy. And not much has changed leading into this game. A big 45-yard run by Gomez puts in New London in real good shape early going.
1st and goal, Whalers from the 5-yard line. Souza in the backfield with Gilbert. Gomez, snap, hands to Gilbert. Gilbert off left tackle for maybe 2. Runs into the center of the Ledyard line. Of course, Ledyard no strangers to power football. They like to play power football on offense, and they like to stop power football on defense.
Yeah, on that big run there by New London, the middle of the field for that Ledyard defense was wide open. And once Gomez chipped through that first wave of defenders there, Casey, nowhere was anybody in sight for the Ledyard defense. Big game.
2nd and goal from the 4. Souza, along with Commander. Souza with the handoff. Souza tries to break a tackle, but Luke Saccone is there to step up and bring him down. Also on the tackle, Colin Krauth. Colin Krauth, the defensive end and one of the stalwart players for Ledyard. That play went nothing. Backwards now, and it'll be 3rd and goal, New London, back to the 7-yard line as we approach the 10-minute mark here in the first period.
The field tends to shrink up on offense a little bit when you get down inside the red zone like that. And Ledyard moving side to side, very good in that play defensively.
Jelani Gilbert, along with Commander and Souza. Handoff goes to Gilbert. No, it's a fake, and a pass goes into the end zone. Incomplete. Gomez was looking for Major Roman that time, but he couldn't find him.
Ball underthrown that time to Roman, and he's such a big target, Casey. You like to see Gomez put that ball up in the air where his wide receiver, his tight end, can make a play on it. That ball is down by his feet. I don't know whether that had something to do with that or not, but that was Not a very good ball.
Wasn't a great pass, but also really a well-defended play, and not much chance to get that pass was Major Roman. One of the fun parts of doing broadcasts. Handoff, it goes to Gilbert. Gomez instead is a keeper. Gomez is going to be in the end zone for a New London touchdown. Melquan Gomez has the play fake down. That's twice he's fooled me.
The flag on the play that time there. Looked like it's going to be offsides against Ledyard. Looks like the initial call. If my eyes, it is offsides against Ledyard, and that will be declined. And a good start here for the Whalers, Casey O'Neill. Big run, mixed it up a little bit with some passing, and Gomez walks into the end zone.
Well, that's twice that Gomez fooled me, and by fooling me, that's how he fooled the Ledyard High School defense, because twice he put the ball into the stomach of Jelani Gilbert. Great play fake. Everyone collapsed in the middle, and he walked into the end zone.
Gomez did walk into the end zone, unchallenged on that play.
Extra point attempt for New London. Snap is good. Hold is up, and it is blocked.
By your guy, Luke Saccone, number 4, doing it all.
I think extra points are going to be difficult tonight. We're going to see 2-point conversions coming into play, but New London has to be thrilled with its opening possession with 9:41 remaining in the first period, a 6-0 New London lead.
Well, if Coach Miranda talked all week long about a missed block here, a half a step away there from being a good football team, maybe that's the drive that New London needed, Casey, to recharge their season a little bit. A big run by Gomez. They got down inside the red zone and cashed in on 6. Very important for them to come away with a touchdown.
Now comes the time when a head coach down 6-0 looks to a senior leader. Unfortunately, that's something that Coach Jim Bunicor said he has, that he is very comfortable with, and Coach Dwayne Miranda said it's the player that they most have to keep out for, and that, of course, is the senior quarterback of the Ledyard Colonels, Ty Ebden.
Yeah, Ebden's definitely the man to stop, according to Coach Miranda, on this Ledyard football team.
A name to listen to here in the annals of New London High School history, Jacob Commander. He's only a freshman. He's younger than even that. He's already had a huge game on the ground earlier in the year against East Lyme. He kicks the football as well, and with 4 more years remaining here at New London High School, expect to hear that name an awful lot. Jacob Commander will be kicking off for the Whalers, going left to right on a pouring Pat Canamella football field. Commander kicks low and on the turf. It bounces, taken at the 25-yard line by Carter. Carter gets up to the 32-yard line. Justin Carter with the return for the Colonels, and he was brought down by Elijah Clinton Rivera. And
Casey,
that'll be 1st and 10 Ledyard at the 32-yard line.
Casey, I'm sorry. New London looking very spirited here early. Real important for Ledyard to come back here in this initial possession they have with the ball and respond a little bit. They don't have to score, but they have to respond a little bit. Get something going, get a good drive and positive yards.
Trips left, 4 wide for the Colonels on their opening possession. Ebden hands off up the middle to Shield Sanabria, and Shield Sanabria is going to have a first down, 10 quick yards. Easy run in that time for Manny DeShield Sanabria, right through the middle of that New London line.
Once you break that first line of that New London, the first layer of the New London defense, there's some room there. We've seen that now on both sides of the ball. Good run up the middle by Ledyard early going.
Trips left, same formation, shotgun, Ebden. Again to Sanabria up the middle. This time the New London line stacks him up after a gain of maybe 4. So they didn't give him the first down on the first play. They said it was 2nd and short. He gets the first down that time, and it will be 1st and 10. Ledyard on the ball up to the 48-yard line, their own 48-yard line. A easy first down on 2 plays for the Colonels.
Something a little different this time for Ledyard. They usually come out in that bunch set. We've seen him play all year long. Coach Bunicor spreading things out here early.
Saccone, Carter, Ebden. That's Max Ebden. Ty Ebden fakes it. Ty Ebden with a keeper. Ty Ebden straight up the middle for a nice gain of about 8 yards before he's brought down by Roman. After a gain of 9, it's going to be 2nd and 1 as the Colonels cross midfield on their first possession.
3 straight plays, 3 straight runs up the gut for the Ledyard Colonels. They got something working so far here early, Casey.
That big offensive line and spreading out and a quick timeout by New London because I think they don't like what they see offensively, and that'll be time for us to tell you about MJ Sullivan Hyundai, where no money down means no money down. You can lease a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport for no money down and only $279 a month for 36 months. They'll pay your first payment. They'll pay your upfront sales tax. Hey, they'll even pay your registration and dealer conveyance fees. So you pay $0 down and only $279 a month for a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport. Only at MJ Sullivan Hyundai, corner of Broad and Coleman Streets in New London. You can see the entire inventory at mjsullivanauto.com. 8:43 here in the first period. Ledyard with its first possession, trailing 6-0 to New London. Ty Ebden takes the direct snap, and keeps it himself for what will become another Ledyard first down. Their second consecutive first down on their first possession. They get it all the way down to the 42-yard line of the Whalers. And that's where Ledyard will have it, 1st and 10.
Nothing fancy here. Power football right up the middle. 4 straight runs, 4 straight up, right up the gut. It's weird. It's kind of odd because Ledyard is in a spread set offensively, yet running the ball up the gut. They're playing power football out of the spread set.
Trips left, one wide receiver to the right. Ty Ebden in the shotgun. This time he gives it to DeShield Sanabria, and DeShield Sanabria breaks a tackle in the backfield and gets a gain of 5. Tough run that time by Manny DeShield Sanabria. He got about 5 where there was nothing there.
It is pouring outside right now for you folks at home. It is coming down in buckets and sheets, Casey O'Neill.
2nd and 6 for Ledyard. Now with the ball at the 39-yard line of the Whalers. Ebden is the quarterback in the shotgun. DeShield Sanabria is his lone set. Ebden on the keeper. Nothing there that time. Nice job by the New London defense coming off of the pile that time for the Whalers. The tackle was made by number 68, Oscar Calcano. And Coach Miranda said that Calcano was going to be one of the guys he needed to step up on the defensive line.
They need playmakers, and I'm assuming during that timeout, Coach Miranda told his defensive line, pinch the middle. Pinch the middle. Do not let the back and Ebden or through.
First big 3rd down for Ledyard. 3rd and about 7 with the ball at the 40-yard line of New London. And we have not seen Ledyard throw the football yet. They've been in a spread set. This time, however, they go to a power set with only 2 wides, one split left, one split right, and that kind of confusion is going to force a timeout. Ledyard never looked comfortable in that set, and they're going to call a timeout and talk things over here on 3rd down.
It was a bit of a pistol formation with a double-stacked running back and fullback in the backfield, and I think some confusion on the Ledyard offensive end. Coach Bunicor calls timeout. But, power football here early for the Colonels, and I guess you got to keep it simple in this weather. It's treacherous out there.
You know what's funny is you just described the formation as a power pistol with a double-stacked running back. Now, here's the thing.
No, I mean, and that's what I saw. I saw a shotgun set.
I understand. Now, what I'm saying is 75% of our listening audience has no idea what that means. However, my 7-year-old son, because he plays Madden football, knows exactly what that formation is. So anyone out there that plays Madden football on their Xbox, they understood what that formation was. I, on the other hand, couldn't have described it at all.
You basically had a pistol formation with a fullback in the backfield, too, and something wasn't jiving there.
That's why we have him. That's why he's the sports doctor, because he can describe a power pistol double stack. Sounds like something that you would do in order to get really ripped at the gym. Ebden from the shotgun gets the snap. Hands off to DeShield Sanabria. DeShield Sanabria is fighting for extra yard. He's right down to the 1st down marker off of right tackle, and it's going to depend on the spot. Nice, tough run inside in between the tackles by Manny DeShield Sanabria, and I think he is going to come up a yard short, but Ledyard will go for it on 4th down from the New London 34-yard line. Split right. Ebden's under center, trying to draw New London off with a hard count. They're not biting. They almost got him, but nothing this time, and he's changing the play at the line. Ebden's going to keep it himself. Nothing there. Turns his back over, and I don't think he's going to get it. I think Ebden's going to be stopped short. We're going to wait on the spot, but I think a big stand that time, led by Sean Brown and Greg Newkirk, the big guys up the middle. That quarterback sneak had nowhere to go, and it is a turnover on downs. What a big stop by the Whaler defense.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. The entire interior of that defensive line for the Whalers pinched down and took away any kind of running angular lane. And, the big guys up front for New London won that battle, Casey.
And that was pretty simple. Ty Ebden is a big kid, and he's a very physical quarterback, and that time he just couldn't get anywhere.
The play itself looked a little rushed. I think he was trying to do a hard sell and draw New London off sides, and the play itself looked like it was a little rushed.
Gomez in the shotgun for the Whalers with Gilbert under center. Low snap. Gomez gets it pitched out to Gilbert. Gilbert has about 3 yards, tries to get to the sideline and can't quite get there. That play had some problems. It was a low snap, but nice job by Gomez to handle the low snap off the turf and still get the pitch out to Gilbert.
Yeah, something out of nothing on that play for the Whalers. They got a 4-yard gain out of it. It's a slippery ball tonight. Gomez did a nice job of gathering himself, showing a little composure, and pitching it out to the back.
Souza, Commander, and and Gilbert.
Talented backfield, Casey.
Talented backfield. 3 very good skill position players for the Whalers. Commander is to Gomez's right. Souza to his left. Handoff goes to Jelani Gilbert. And Gilbert will have about 3 yards off of the right tackle, right straight up the middle. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 4 for the Whalers with the ball at the 41-yard line.
Power football, the name of the game so far from both sides. I would tend to think that, Coach Miranda's thinking possibly 2 downs here. I mean, maybe it's too early to take a risk, but, New London's going to run the ball here, Casey. I don't think there's any secret about that.
Major Roman and Elijah Parker split wide right for the Whalers. Gomez in the shot. Gomez hands off again to Gilbert. Gilbert gets it back to the line of scrimmage, and then he is stuck. Colin Krauth comes out of the pile, along with number 29 of the Colonels, number 26, Devin Condi. And with that, it's going to bring up 4th and about a half a yard. And we will see, it looks like the Whalers are changing the packages, and we are going to see a punt. Coach Miranda wants to keep the field position here.
Yeah, big stop there by that Ledyard defense, bailing out the offense. They couldn't pick up the first down, so 3 and out for New London on that drive.
Commander will be in to punt for the Whalers, standing at his own 26-yard line. Snap is there. Punt is off. Low line drive that bounces at the Ledyard 40 and takes a great Whaler bounce all the way down inside the 20-yard line. DeShield Santabria couldn't get to it for Ledyard, and that is a great punt by Commander. The Whalers do, in fact, switch the field positions as Ledyard will set up shop on their second possession at their own 19-yard line.
Yeah, Casey, we already saw a missed extra point. We saw a punt there, almost blocked, but he got a good bounce out of it. These little plays, like these special teams plays, like flipping the field position or, a fumbled snap on a punt or a missed extra point, these little things, very important in a game like this with this weather condition.
Ledyard's going to come up and go power this time. No wide receivers. They are stacked. Ebden hands the ball off, and in the open is Manny DeShield Santabria, and it's a foot race. Manny DeShield Santabria is going to go for a Ledyard touchdown, 81 yards.
That's how you get back into the game, Casey O'Neill. One play, middle of the field, wide open, touchdown.
Wow. Manny DeShield Santabria took the handoff and showed speed as he got through the initial line of scrimmage. There was nobody there.
Ledyard showed a bunch set that time on offense. New London had 10 defenders in the box, and once Santabria got through that line, there was no stopping him getting the end zone.
6-6 with 4:12 remaining. And what a change of momentum. What do you say about momentum?
Momentum is a fickle thing, and it's just Manny being Manny.
No
fickle
comment.
thing, no comment.
Snap is good, hold is good, the kick is up, and it is good. And with 4 minutes and 12 seconds remaining, the Ledyard Colonels are now on top, 7-6. You know what I feel like? I feel like in a boxing match, we watched New London just pepper jabs into the face of Ledyard, win a couple rounds on points, and all of a sudden they came out in the 3rd round and just took one right on their chin.
And all of a sudden, George Foreman hits Michael Moore, and the fight's over.
And so now,
obviously, this is not the case, but I agree with you, 100%.
It's early, but now we have to see New London get up off the turf, because right there, they just got decked.
That's a big play right there.
You say momentum is fickle,
right? Very fickle.
Well, the whole game plan of New London, by not going for it on 4th and inches, was to switch the field position, because on a night like tonight, every play is a turnover waiting to happen. He got the right result, and then the very next play, 81 yards.
I'm not so sure if that bunch set from Ledyard didn't catch New London's defense out of sorts a little bit, because there was nobody on the backside of the field. There was no safety help. There was on either side. And once Santabria got through the initial charge, the initial surge of the line case, he was gone.
It was almost as if they were playing a goal line set and selling out.
Yes.
Like it was a 4th down play instead of a 1st down.
That was the first play of the game, the first time this game that Ledyard showed that look offensively, and it probably caught New London maybe a little out of position or a little confused.
Well, the chess match will continue between Coach Dwayne Miranda and Coach Jimmy Bunicor. It is right now 7-6 Ledyard with 4 minutes and 12 seconds remaining here in the first period. The kick by Saccone, end over end. Bounces at the 19-yard line, where it's taken by Xavier Benson, and Benson returns it up to the 30-yard line, and New London will have its next possession at their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, we got a football game here, folks. It's cold outside. It is raining. We've got hot chocolate in the booth. We've got the full house backfield. We got Casey O'Neill, the sports doctor, the stat guru, and Mike DeMauro is not watching the game from the sidelines tonight, Casey. He is warm and toasty dry in the booth.
He went to his alma mater, Boston College, last weekend, got a little bit sick. We all understand that because those of us that have watched Boston College get regularly sick. Snap and a pitch to Gilbert. Gilbert tries to get to the outside where there is nothing there, and then gang tackled by the Ledyard Colonels after a gain of 3. No flag, that because he never was down, but wow, Jelani Gilbert met rudely by the Colonels defense that time after a gain of 1.
He earned his yards there. Nothing doing that time. That side-to-side pursuit by the Ledyard defense. You know, we talk about some of their players and Luke Saccone, and you know what? That front seven, very good, very talented, and they move laterally extremely well.
We've called Colin Krauth and Justin Carter
Yeah,
and Luke Saccone. Those guys are very, very tough, and big Tanner Daggett in the middle, 75 for the Colonels. Snap to Gomez. Gomez, this time hands off to Souza. Off left tackle, Devin Souza. Talented junior runner for the Whalers, but nothing there. Gain of maybe a yard. It's going to bring up 3rd and long with the ball at the 34-yard line. So New London, with 3 minutes remaining here in the first period, has their next decision to make. 3rd and 7 with the ball at their own 32-yard line. Big Mike Leandri that time on the tackle for Ledyard in the interior of their line. Shotgun by Melquan Gomez. Handoff goes to Souza. Souza off tackle. Souza has a seam. And Devin Souza with a nice run all the way to the 45-yard line. First down. Forced down for the Whalers. He's brought down by Justin Carter after a nice gain by Devin Souza.
Yeah, very patient running that time by Souza. He saw the line, saw the hole opened up, took a quick half step to the left, and then took it up. You know, as soon as he turned his shoulders, he got a nice gain out of that. I was kind of shocked that the Whalers did not throw the ball there. They are still playing the game close to the vest. They are going into the wind.
New London going to a new set this time. Souza is the lone setback with Gomez in the shotgun. Gomez hands to Souza. Souza tries to cut it back up inside. Not much there that time. Minimal gain on the tackle comes Colin Krauth. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 as we are now down about 2 minutes remaining in the first period. Ledyard 7, New London 6.
This is the type of game, too, Casey, where neither team really wants to make that big mistake. Because that big mistake on a short side of the field, which New London is on right now, could haunt them a little bit. So, they're going to keep the ball on the ground. They're going to keep grounding it out.
2nd and 9. Melquan Gomez, the quarterback for the Whalers, in the shotgun. Hands the ball off to Souza. No, instead he keeps it, and he flips out to Major Roman, and there's a flag on the play. Roman gets all the way up towards the first down marker. I got to be honest with you, Melquan Gomez has fooled me 3 times, but I think this one's going to come back on a hold.
Yeah, a little selling on the handoff, and a little shuttle pass to Roman. Looks like a hold on the offensive line.
Roman, one of the more dynamics. Major Roman is one of the more dynamic players in the conference on both sides of the ball, and as a receiver, he's very long and very difficult to defend. Cornerbacks are too small, and linebackers aren't quick enough. He's a big kid. They're trying to get the ball in his hands. That was a really nice job with the play fake and a little shuttle pass, but coming back, it looks like on a hold.
Right. Roman actually came across the formation that time, and as Gomez was rolling out after the play fake, took the shuttle pass. So, well-designed play. They got some good yards out of it, but it'll be negated because of the penalty. Oh, they're waving it off, Casey.
Okay, so they're waving off the flag, and that's going to make it 3rd down. And they marked the ball at the 47-yard line of Ledyard. So with the ball at the 47-yard line of Ledyard, it will be 3rd and 1 for New London. Souza is the lone set. Trips left for the Whalers. Snap goes to Gomez. Hands off to Souza. Souza breaks a tackle by DeShields Sanabria, but can't get back to the line of scrimmage. Colin Krauth that time finished him off, and it's going to bring up 4th and half a yard. But on this side of the field, I think this time you're going to see the Whalers go for it.
Yeah, you might have to. Here, Krauth sneaking up from his linebacker position, got up to the line of scrimmage and stuffed the run. A good one-on-one tackle, which is something you don't see a lot of days on high school football. But, Krauth has got the skill set. He's a very, very handy football player.
Whalers send Elijah Parker split left and Lopez split right. Souza the lone set. Gomez. This time he's coming up under center, delivering a message, changing the play, barking it out. Back into the shotgun he goes. There's the snap. Hands off to Souza, and I think he is going to be short. Devin Souza put his head down. It's going to depend on the spot, but I think he's 2 chain links short of a first down.
2 chain links, and boy, you can tell from up here. 8 yards, only 8 yards on 6 carries by Souza. They're looking for 9 yards on 6 carries.
And they're saying right now that they are waiving it. I think they might bring out the chains, but I think he is short. And I said 2 chain links. It might be 4 chain links.
You're on your game tonight.
Right now we have seen 2 fourth-down stops, one on either side of the football, and both were testaments to the defensive pressure put on by the interior of the lines. The New London offensive lineman, Sean Brown, is saying, hey, we got that first down. We got it. But I don't know about that, Sean. Here come the official spot. They bring the chains out, and it is
Short
by 2 chain links of the football.
The official just said 4, so you've changed your mind. Great stand that time by the Ledyard defense. The entire defensive line, the interior linebackers creeping up the line of scrimmage. Big stop for the Colonels, Casey. They are in good shape here on offense as they start this drive.
They start the drive at their own 45-yard line, and they already have a 7-6 lead as we are heading toward the end of the first period. New London has to come up with a defensive stop. The last time Ledyard had the ball, Manny DeShield Sanabria went 81 yards.
Same bunch set.
This time the flip goes to Saccone. Saccone cuts it back up the middle where he's hit hard by New London High School linebacker. But Luke Saccone.
One man there to stop him in that hole, Casey. That play was developing. Almost a big gain. Yeah, it was an old double wing play there, Casey, and Saccone stepped his way through. That was a good stop by New London because Saccone had some wide open green pasture in front of him.
Interesting play, gain of 7 on first down. So Ledyard opened up in a spread set, didn't have a lot going, went to that bunch formation almost like it was a goal line play, and they got the big touchdown by DeShield Sanabria. Now they come back again with that same bunch, and this time we see a little trickery with the ball going to Saccone. That's the end of the first period. You are listening to Game Day live on theday.com, and at the end of 1, it is the Ledyard Colonels 7, the New London High School Whalers 6. The second period of tonight's game is brought to you by the Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut. Now, the Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut is the region's leading STEM-themed school. The nationally recognized magnet program prepares students to succeed, not just during their 4 years of high school, but for all future. Beyond the magnet school, you transform your passion for science, technology, engineering, or math to a reality at STMHS. They are now accepting applications for next school year. Learn more and apply online at nlstmhs.org. That's nlstmhs.org.
First quarter, Casey, Santa Maria 5 carries, 105 yards. His big 80-yard touchdown run, inflating his stats a little bit. And for the Whalers, Gomez right now has 2 carries for 52 yards. So, in a game right now where it's tight, it's close to the vest. We've seen 2 big plays for either team, Santa Maria and for Gomez. So, in a game where we think it's going to be a bit of a grind, right now the 2 big plays are what's the scoreboard.
This time, Ledyard now switching fields, going left to right. They'll be heading into that rain. See if that makes a difference in how they handle the pressure of the New London defense. 2nd and 6, still in that bunch set. Saccone, and flip instead goes to DeShield Sanabria. He's going to have a first down up to about the 40-yard line, carried by Manny DeShield Sanabria, and that will be a Ledyard first down at the New London 40.
That is a double wing T look, and a little misdirection right there, and kind of looks like the old Fitch Falcons offense to a T a little bit out there. And the inside, the interior of the Ledyard offensive line doing some work up front and moving some bodies.
Give Jimmy Bunicor, coach of Ledyard, credit for the ability to switch on the fly into an entirely different offensive set, going from a spread to this power wing T. DeShield Sanabria in the backfield. Flip goes to him. Tries to cut to the outside, tries to get outside, but nothing there. He's ridden out of bounds. Gain of perhaps 1. Pushed out on the play by number 8, Billy Clark of the Whalers.
You know, I think in a game like this, Coach Buonicore is entrusting in his front line to outmuscle New London. You know, there's a lot of senior leadership up front, Casey. You know what? We're going to put the games in the hands of the big boys. We get some, bad weather out there, and let's see what happens.
Ty Ebden under center this time on 2nd and 9 for Ledyard, running that power wing T. Ebden, ball on the turf, and Ebden falls on it, and I think it's going to remain Ledyard football, but that was a muffed snap that time between Ebden and center, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 for Ledyard at the 40, but heads up by Ty Ebden to fall on the football.
Yeah, that's just one of those plays that's going to happen in a game like this, and you're hoping your guys can recover. We saw it earlier with Gomez. He mishandled the snap he got and tossed it out for a good gain, and a heads-up play by the senior quarterback.
Ty Ebden, 3rd and 10 for Ledyard. Ebden hands the ball up the middle, up the gut it goes to DeShield Sanabria, and nothing there. Nice job that time by the center of the Whaler defense, led by big 58, Jovan Ameti.
Bit of an option look that time by Ledyard, and Ebden taking the first option with Sanabria before he came down the line.
Interesting for Ledyard here with the ball at the 40-yard line, trying to probably pin. You'll probably see Saccone punt and try to pin them deep into their own territory and force a turnover. But if they go for it on 4th down, you got to think they're going to throw the ball.
They're going to go. They're going to line up. Maybe try to drive New London off sides, get a cheap 5 and go from there.
Ebden pitches to DeShield Sanabria. Up the middle he goes. He's going to be short of the 1st down after a gain of about 8. Nice, tough run by Manny DeShield Sanabria, but not enough, and New London will get the ball on turnover on downs. A very conservative play call by Ledyard.
Well, I think, Coach Buonicore thinks if he can pop one there, he can actually get a touchdown out of it. But he's not going to give up that much field position. So if a punt goes into the end zone, you're only going to gain about 15 yards on the play. So, very, very low risk, possibly a high reward play that time.
New London will take over after the turnover on downs. They'll take over at their own 34-yard line. 10-12 remaining here in the first half. Ledyard 7, New London 6. New London Whalers in the home green and gold, heading right to left on your, if I can say your radio dial, I like to say on your imagination. Melquan Gomez is your quarterback for the Whalers. He's in the shotgun. Devin Souza is his lone set. Trips left for New London, and a flag. I think we're going to see delay of game against the Whalers. That's not a good way to, off a turnover on downs, to get a delay of game is just, that's poor execution.
Yeah, that's just not being on the same page, all the players and stuff like that. And again, when you're talking about a game with field position in a game like this, that's a, 1st and 10, 1st and 15, every 5 yards counts.
I drives coaches crazy.
You got to drive him nuts. I mean, like you said, coming off of a change of possession, too. Put your offense on the field, Casey, and run the play.
Parker, Lopez, and Roman. Trips left for New London. Handoff instead goes to Souza, and there is just nothing there. New London keeps trying to pound Devin Souza behind left tackle and right tackle, and there's nothing there. Loss of, maybe gain of perhaps a yard, but that's going to bring up 2nd and 14.
Yeah, New London spreading the field a little bit, trips on that play, and trying to chip away at the middle of that Ledyard defensive line to no avail. A different look that time by New London's offense, but, very, very conservative play calling.
Look for Gomez to do a quarterback keeper off of one of these. We've seen that happen. Or take it out of the gut of Souza and look to pop Roman streaking on a post up.
He's a big target, Casey. You got to use him.
Same formation. Trips left. Souza's the only setback. Gomez in the shot. Snap is good. Gomez to throw. Nothing there. He rolls. Still rolling. Wants Roman to go downfield. Tries to launch it. Does Gomez. In the air it goes. And Roman with a great one-handed catch, but it's out of bounds. He was defended on the play by Justin Carter. The Whalers won a pass interference penalty, but what an athletic Odell Beckham-like catch that time.
Oh, boy.
By Major Roman.
Roman just ran out of real estate over there on the sidelines. That play was very, very, obviously it was a busted play to the point, very slow developing, and Roman had nowhere to go. You got to try and deliver that ball inbounds so your receiver can make a play on him.
Gomez wanted him to go down the field. He was waving him away, but couldn't keep him in bounds. 3rd and 14 for the Whalers. Parker goes out wide left for New London. Roman and Lopez split right. Gomez hands the ball off to Souza. Souza gets to the corner. Souza turns it upfield for a nice gain of about 6 yards, but not enough as Devin Souza ran out of running room at the Ledyard sideline, right in front of the Ledyard bench. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 38-yard line, where it'll be 4th and long for New London, and Commander will come on to punt.
Safe play call there, Casey, on 3rd and long, and New London looking to flip the field position once again on the Colonels and keep them pinned back in their own end zone.
The dangerous Manny DeShield Sanabria stands at his own 30-yard line. What a great name for a football player of any kind. Think we should punt Commander?
Commander.
Put it in the Commander's hands.
I can remember watching him last year with Pee Wee football. That kid was like a man amongst boys out there in the field.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The sports doctor trolls the Pee Wee football games to get early scouting reports on these players that he's eventually
Now,
going to
I got a very good friend that's got his son involved, and he's a freshman over at Waterford right now. So I had a lot of fun the last couple of years keeping track of that.
What do you think about the Jack Jachter Intermediate School up there in Colchester and their Pee Wee footballs? The feeder program for the Bacon Academy.
Solid.
Oh, we're having fun in the rain. 9-12 here at the second quarter.
I made a house call to Bacon Academy in back-to-back weekends. Casey,
you did. You did.
I did.
I know. For 2 big games, there are victories over Ledyard and New London, but Bacon's not through. They still have Fitch. They still have NFA. They still have a lot of work to do if they're going to convince everybody that the Bacon Academy Bobcats are the team to beat here in the ECC. Commander stands at his own 23-yard line. DeShield Sanabria waits at his own 30. Snap is good. A lot of pressure. Punt gets off. It's low. It's on the ground at the 40. Takes a New London bounce, and it will go out of bounds at the 34-yard line of Ledyard, and Ledyard will take over at their own 34 with a 7-6 lead. 9:05 remaining in the first period.
And the 2 games that we've done so far with Ledyard this year on the day.com and the 4 games that I've seen him play this year, I don't think they've had a fielded punt yet. The first game against Cranston East, they had nobody back. They have not fielded a punt yet in this game, and I believe last week against Ledyard, Casey, was the same story. They're not fielding punts. You can talk to Coach Jimmy Bunicor about that after the game.
Last week at Bacon Academy, they didn't force many punts. That was part of their problem.
This is true.
1st and 10, Ledyard at their own 34-yard line. They're staying in that power bunched wing tee. Senior Ty Ebden looking over to the Ledyard bench. He wants another player, and he gets Colin Krauth into the ball game to finish off the line. He's under center. In motion. Fake goes to Saccone, and the ball is handed off to DeShield Sanabria. Nothing there. Nice job that time by the center of the New London defense. 2nd and 10 for Ledyard. Ball remains at their own 34-yard line.
I look over on the left side, and headed to the New London locker room right now is Gilbert, one of the main players here for New London on offense. He is shaken up a little bit. We're going to report on him at halftime.
Number 19, Jelani Gilbert, the recent addition to the Whalers, the junior, heading to the sideline, so expect to see more of Commander and Souza. 8:30 remaining. Ledyard, 2nd and 10. Ebden pitches to DeShield Sanabria. Again, not a lot there. New London doing a much better job in the interior, kind of figuring out this formation. A host of Whalers, a boatload of Whalers, a hunting party of Whalers. With the tackle that time is going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Straight power football that time by Ledyard. 10 in the box for New London. And good stop up front. And, New London seemed to work things out on the defensive line. They got some people in the right position and making back-to-back good stops up front.
3rd and 6, we'll call it. 3rd and maybe 7 at their own 36-yard line. Ebden tries to get it to Saccone, and nothing there. The Whalers up front that time. Number 68, Oscar Calcano, snuffed that one out right from the line of scrimmage, and that's going to bring up 4th and long. And we have an injured Whaler, or at least a Whaler slow to get up on the play. Limping off the field for New London is Terrell Martinez, but he's getting off the field on his own power, jogging off the field now, and that's going to bring up 4th down. Ledyard will punt from their own 44-yard line, and Souza will head back along with Kevin Shan to return the punt.
We have seen nothing fancy in the last few minutes from this Ledyard offense, Casey. It's basically bunch set, wing tee, try and pop one, and if we don't, we're going to punt the ball and play field position game.
Souza and Shan stand at their own 35 and 40-yard line. Luke Saccone stands at his own 25 to punt for Ledyard. Snap is good. Saccone gets off the punt. It's a high, spiraling punt that bounces at the 35-yard line and takes a reverse bounce, so Ledyard will down it. Krauth downs it at the 34-yard line, and the Whalers will take over at their own 34-yard line, trailing 7-6 with 7:13 remaining here in the first half.
The big plays are down to a minimum. Both defenses seem to be adjusting pretty well, Casey. We saw the big run by Gomez. We saw the big run by Ledyard, and they're not there anymore. So obviously both these teams defensively are making the adjustments up front to stop the backs and just not give up the big play.
A new running back into the game for New London, Elijah Clinton, is in the backfield along with Commander and Souza. Gomez in the shot, hands off to Souza, straight up the middle. Devin Souza, talented runner, but tough to run when there's nothing there. That's a minimal gain. It'll bring up 2nd and 9.
Nah, just nowhere to go right now. The Ledyard defensive line has got a big push going on up front. And the offensive line, the line is basically a standstill right now, Casey. And when the line is a standstill, the line of scrimmage, you allow your linebackers, your safeties, and your corners to come up and make tackles. And Ledyard doing a good job right now are holding their ground up front.
Commander, Souza in the backfield. Handoff goes to Commander. Commander breaks a tackle, tries to get to the outside, and fights forward for maybe 2 yards off of right tackle. Jacob Commander that time showing a lot of power for a freshman, but that is going to bring up 3rd and maybe 6, ball short of the 40-yard line with 6.5 minutes remaining here in the half.
Yeah, quick feet in the hole that time by Commander. Kept his legs moving, and he did it all himself. He had nowhere to go. He got a 4-yard pickup out of that. 3rd and 5, manageable 3rd down here for the Whalers.
Ball sitting right on the Whaler 40-yard line. Major Roman splits right. Heading out to the left is Elijah Parker. So 2 wide receivers for the Whalers. Pitch goes to Souza. Souza with 7 yards deep in the backfield, and he's not going to make it back to the line of scrimmage. Souza took the pitch even farther back than the quarterback was in the shotgun, and he had to make up 7 yards to even get to the line of scrimmage. He got maybe 5 of those, and that's going to bring up 4th and long, and the Whalers are going to have to punt.
A quick pursuit by this Ledyard defense, the linebackers, Luke Saccone and company, and it just strung that play out. It never really developed, Casey. And like you said, by the time he ran 7 yards, he was barely back to the line of scrimmage.
Commander stands at his own 23-yard line. DeShields Sanabria stands at his own 30, awaiting the Whaler punt. The snap is good, handled by Commander. The punt is a nice one. It goes down the middle of the field, bounces at the 30-yard line, takes a Whaler bounce, and goes up to the 26-yard line. And that's where Ledyard will take over 1st and 10 at their own 26 with 5:13 remaining here in the first half.
And a pouring rain here at New London High School. The rain is coming down straight now. It's not sideways anymore for you those at home. And it's a good, tough football game right now, Casey. Both defenses have settled in a little bit. They've both given up the big play. Both teams have made adjustments, and right now it's a field position ball game.
Ledyard going back to the spread. They send Max Ebden wide left. Carter and Saccone split right. Spreading it out again. DeShields Sanabria is the only back, and Ebden this time under center. And what that does is force a New London timeout because the Whalers...
Oh, there you go.
Where Whalers were expecting the bunch, they got the spread, and Dwayne Miranda wants a timeout.
Well, they confused him the first time when they went from the spread to the bunch set, and they popped that big run for 80 yards. Now they confused the London defense by going from the bunch set back to the spread.
All right, Keith O'Brien, trivia time.
You got it.
Name how many schools in the United States of America have the nickname Whalers?
Oh, boy. This is high schools?
Yes.
I know one.
Yes, you do.
The New London Whalers.
That is one. How many others have the nickname Whalers?
I do not know.
It requires a little bit of historical, knowledge of the country. The answer is 3.
3.
Most people know 2. New Bedford High School is the
New
Whalers.
Bedford in Mass, okay.
Nantucket High School is the Whalers.
Okay.
Makes sense. The 3 big whaling capitals up and down the East Coast, Nantucket, New Bedford, and New London. But you got to go all the way out. You got to shed yourself of your European bias and head out to Alaska.
You are sharing your wealth of knowledge with the sports doctor right now.
In Alaska, in Juneau, Alaska, they are the Whalers, a callback to the great Indian Eskimo tribes of whaling hunters.
Did you know it was 3? Mike DeMar did not know. So, Casey, you are one smart cookie in the press box tonight.
I am.
Could you be smarter than a stat guru?
No, the stat guru is his
he is, yeah.
handsome, and he's got Google at his side.
I'm going to pick his brain at halftime, and I'll bring on Mike DeMar at halftime, too. Pick his brain a little bit.
Ebden hands the ball off to DeShields Sanabria, and he has got a hole off the left side, left tackle. Gain of about 3, brought down on the play by Kevin Shan, and the interior of the New London line. Gain of maybe 6.
12 carries for 128 yards so far for Manny, and 80 of them coming on that big play. And there's no secret to what Ledyard is doing right now. 12 carries in the first half of Santa Maria.
Terrell Martinez along with Shan on the tackle that time, but a second and short here for Ledyard. Handoff goes to DeShields Sanabria. Nothing there. And he is stacked up immediately coming off of the pile that time for New London, number 74, Anson Wang. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for the Colonels.
Big stop up front by the Whaler defensive line. 3rd and 5. Down and distance is everything right now in a game like this with field position. Big 3rd down coming up here as we creep to the end of the first half, Casey.
Middle linebackers Terrell Martinez and Anson Wang that time both shot gaps and got to Manny DeShields to Sanabria before he could break it into the open. It's going to bring up 3rd and a long 5 with under 4 minutes remaining here in the first half. Ty Ebden under center, and he may have gotten a little jump.
Delay of game.
Delay of game against the Colonels off of that spread. So we're going to back him up. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 now.
It's no good. Down and distance. 3rd and 9, 3rd and 5. You pick your poison.
Well,
I'd rather have 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5, they can do a lot of things, including run the ball. It's tough to get 10 yards here running the ball in these conditions. Let's see what Ledyard does. Split right, single set, Ebden under center. Hands off to DeShields Sanabria, and there's nothing there because big Greg Newkirk, Vince Wilfork-like, burst into the backfield and brought DeShields down almost immediately, and that's going to bring up 4th and 10.
You could see an extremely frustrated Ty Ebden leaving the field, urging his offensive line to block somebody up front.
Shan and Souza back to receive the punt for New London. They stand at midfield. Luke Saccone will punt it away. He stands at his own 15-yard line. Ledyard 7, New London 6. We have dug ourselves in for a good one here, and New London High School. The snap is good, handled well by Saccone. The punt is up end over end, lands at the 40-yard line of Ledyard and takes a bounce into New London territory all the way to the 43-yard line. So New London will take over in good field position at their own 43-yard line with 3:57 remaining in the first half.
Good football game here going in the first half at New London High School. Both teams playing pretty tough. It's certainly a game that's going to be won up front, in my opinion, with whichever offensive line, whichever defensive line can impose their will. And I'm still waiting for that big mistake on a rain-soaked evening here. The big mistake may cost Profitley in this game.
You know, they say time flies when you're having fun. It's 2:57, a minute, just like that, went right off the clock. 2:57 remaining here in the first half. New London with Gomez in the shotgun. Gomez runs option, keeps it himself. Melquan Gomez, nice job. Gets about 4 yards on first down as he did the quarterback keeper. 2nd and 6 as New London's heading towards midfield. And we're down to about 2.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. 7-6 Ledyard.
We'll check out some of the action around the ECC at halftime. Casey has a couple teams in action. NFA's in action tonight against Griswold. A couple of the schools playing as well. Last night there was 28-0 Montville over East Lyme in the ECC.
Elijah Parker goes out wide left. Roman is wide right for New London. Commander and Souza in the backfield. Gomez fakes, throws down the field for Roman. It's a jump ball, and it is no good. An absolute rope that time by Melquan Gomez to the 30-yard line. Broken up nicely by Luke Saccone, who was out there on that island with Major Roman. What a great throw. That was a bullet.
Yeah, a bit of a mismatch for any of the Ledyard defenders against Roman. He's 6'4", 6'5". He's a big kid. He's athletic. He's going to get the ball in his hands, make a play on it, Casey.
3rd and 7.
New London can take a few shots here. You got a couple minutes left to go before half. They're going into the wind is at their back, so throwing the football here might be an option.
Parker split left. Roman split right. Gomez, low snap, hands the ball off to Souza. Souza cuts back off left tackle up inside, gets to midfield, where it'll bring up 4th and 2 with the ball at midfield. Expect to see Jacob Commander on to punt it away for the Whalers. Both teams seem to have settled into sort of a 3 yards in a cloud of dust and punting it away.
It's an extremely conservative play calling on both sides of by Ledyard and by New London. I'd take a shot there if I was New London. I'd throw the ball.
1:40 remaining, and Commander will punt it away. New London going right to left. He is at his own 35. Low snap. He's pressured. Commander's going to have to keep it. Commander's going to have to hustle. He's close to the first down and falls forward. And I think Jacob Commander, with that little bit of extra, might have a New London first down on a busted play.
That's something into nothing. We've talked about special teams all night long. We talked about making the mistake, and there was a mistake that turned into something good. Quick feet by Commander. He does indeed, Casey, pick up the first down.
Luke Saccone has been close on every one of those punts coming off a left end. That time, and Commander's been fielding it with both hands like he's catching a pass. That time, Saccone got there. Commander held on himself and broke a tackle, and he may have a New London first down.
Yeah, that's a freshman out there making a play like that. He belongs on that field, Casey.
We're going to have the chains come out.
What do you got on this call? 2 links?
No, I say the Whalers have it by 2 links this time. If not, they got a bad spot because I think he fell forward for the first down. Ledyard says he didn't get it, and he did. Wow, that's a tough spot. I'm a long way away, and I have old eyes, but it looked like he had the first down that time. What a change in momentum. Instead of a first down for New London, Ledyard has the ball in great shape near midfield with 1:24 remaining in the half.
Well, again, those mistakes that I've been talking about all game long. The special teams, the snapping of the ball, the center quarterback exchange, and that time you saw, a muff almost turn into something good, but it didn't. 2 links.
Saccone split right, Ebden split left for Ledyard. Ty Ebden under center. Hands the ball off to DeShield Sanabria. DeShield Sanabria breaks a tackle, falls forward into the New London secondary to the 45-yard line of the Whalers. Gain of 8 on first down. Tough running. And what a first half Manny DeShield Sanabria is having.
15 carries for 131 yards. Sanabria keeping his legs churning on that play.
Max Ebden is the split right. Power I for the Colonels. Handoff again to DeShield Sanabria. This time he breaks a tackle. Into the open goes Manny DeShield Sanabria, and he's dragged down after a big gain and a first down for Ledyard. They're down inside the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Colonels.
New London defense back on their heels a little bit and back-to-back plays, and right now it looks like Ledyard's offensive line is wearing down New London's defensive front on this particular drive.
Under a minute we go. Ebden again hands off to DeShield Sanabria. This time he's met by Terrell Martinez in the hole, and it's going to be about a gain of 5 as Terrell Martinez stuffed it up. And that time DeShield Sanabria couldn't get more than 5, but we're going to get a timeout on the field as we're down to only 34 seconds remaining here in the first half. We have an injured Colonel on the field.
This is old-fashioned football right here. 17 carries in the first half alone by Manny DeShields.
And while we're waiting on the injured Colonel, I should tell you that the second quarter was brought to you by the Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut. The Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut is the region's leading STEM-themed school. The nationally recognized Magnet program prepares students to succeed, not just during their 4 years of high school, but for the future beyond the Magnet School. You can transform your passion for science, technology, engineering, or math to reality at STMHS. They're now accepting applications for next school year. Learn more and apply online at nlstmhs.org. That's nlstmhs.org.
Well, 2nd and 5 here, 2nd and 6, Casey, with just over 30 seconds left to go before half, and a very, very close ball game. Coach Jimmy Buonicor's got to be thinking 6 points right now, or at least some kind of points.
I think you're going to see Luke Saccone on a post pattern, Ebden's favorite target, and we will see what comes up. Saccone is split right. Colonels in the power I on 2nd and 5. Ebden gives the ball to DeShield Sanabria, and nothing there. Oscar Calcano in the center of that New London line stops DeShield Sanabria right at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 5, timeout. Ledyard with 15 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, I'm thinking pass in the end zone, or at least a pass to pick up the first down and get out of bounds real quick. Those are Ledyard's really only 2 options right now at this point of the game. And like you said, they like Saccone on number 4 on the outside, maybe a one-on-one, and let him throw the ball. I mean, there's no risk here, Casey. There's no risk unless he gets sacked and there's a fumble and then take back for 6. But, pump one in the end zone here. See what you can do before the end of the first half. Ledyard will get the ball to start the second half as well.
You can join us at the MJ Sullivan halftime show where the Sports Doctor Keith O'Brien will take you through some of the out-of-town scores, as well as some local and professional and just worldwide sports, as long as it's not soccer, hockey, or anything that anyone else plays outside of Texas. Tennis. They don't play tennis in Texas either. Florida, they play tennis, but it's only because of the tennis school. Third
we're
and
not talking
5.
tennis either, so Casey.
3rd and 5. Ledyard with 15 seconds remaining. Ebden under center. Twins right. Ebden, straight drop, looking for Saccone. Throws it down to the 10-yard line, and a diving attempt by Luke Saccone down inside the 5. No good. Great coverage on the play by Xavier Benson.
Well, that's Ebden's first pass attempt, and, that's the play we both called for. Saccone down the side, one-on-one coverage, but it was two-on-one there, but, double covered on the play, and Ebden took a shot, and, that's a good, tough first half of football, because I'm sure with 10 seconds left to go here, New London is going to play it very safe.
Well, the thing is that they can definitely get a first down and run one more play if they can stop the clock right at that first down. So we'll see how Ledyard does this. They also might just hand the ball off to DeShield Sanabria and say, I'm going into half that way. Handoff to DeShield Sanabria. He breaks a tackle, tries to get to the outside. New London pursuing, and they run him out of bounds inside the 20 with 3 seconds remaining. But we'll see where the spot is. It looks like he had enough for a first down, and if that's the case, Ledyard has one last crack at it with a very good place kicker in Luke Saccone. Do you go for a field goal here in this weather, or at the 20-yard line, do you try to throw it in the end zone?
If I'm the coach, I'm going to throw the ball in the end zone. I've got the lead right now, so if I'm up 10-6 versus 14-6, the risk to me is worth the reward. I throw the ball in the end zone, Casey, I can get a flag. I mean, a lot of things can happen, a lot of good things.
All right, let's take a quick poll. Stat Guru, field goal, thumb up, thumb down. Stat Guru says he's going to go to the end zone. You say they're going to go to the end zone. Field goal, he says go to the end zone.
Go to the end zone, yeah.
The Junior Voice of Game Day, you going to the end zone, or you going for a field goal here?
Field goal.
The Junior Voice of Game Day. The young mind says, I would go for the 3. He knows that Coach Parcells says when there's points to be had, you take the points.
Yeah, Manny's got 19 carries in the first half for 157 yards.
81 of them came on the big touchdown run that gave Ledyard the 7-6 lead, the same 7-6 lead that they have with 3 seconds remaining here in the first half. Ledyard with the ball and 3 seconds remaining. They have the ball at the Whaler 20-yard line. We are waiting to see if they're going to send out Saccone for a field goal or if we're going to take a shot in the end zone. It looks like they are going to take a shot in the end zone. So everyone but the O'Neills had it right this time. Trips left for Ledyard. Ebden rolls left, facing some pressure, gets it into the pocket, gets into the end zone, and knocked down in the end zone. Great defense that time in the end zone by Xavier Benson, and that will take us to the half. What a good half of football, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of big plays, and then a lot of defense. At the halftime, it is New London 6, trailing by a point. The Ledyard High School Colonels have 7. 7-6 Ledyard. You're now listening to the MJ Sullivan Halftime Show. I'm going to turn it over to the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien. He's going to take you through with the stat guru, Mike DeMoro, and the rest of the game day crew.
House call by the sports doctor at halftime here at New London High School. 7-6, the Whalers over the Whalers, down to the Ledyard Colonels. And out-of-town scoreboard in the ECC, obviously last night action was Montville 28, East Lyme nothing, shooting around. Bacon in a dogfight right now is 7-0 just before the half over Stonington. Wyndham 12, Plainfield 7 just before the half. Wyndham with that full power running attack. And right now, NFA trying to avenge last season's loss to Griswold, up 14-0 just before half. And big run by Jawan Johnson, their electric quarterback, as we are in full swing in the ECC and in high school football, and taking a few minutes out of his very busy schedule. And it's, what is it? What is your busy schedule like? School, basketball during the week, stat guru on Friday nights. Is it stat guru? What's going on?
Nothing much.
Listen, we are heading down the home stretch right now in Major League Baseball. And, last night the Yankees clinched the playoff spot. And right now how the American League's shaping up is, home field advantage between Toronto and Kansas City. The Yankees will get in. And the Astros and the Angels are battling for that last wild card spot.
Yeah, that's surprising because you figured one of them would take the division, but the addition of Cole Hamels for the Rangers really thrusted the Rangers past them.
You're right, and then right now down the stretch, it looks like Houston is really, really cooled off. They had that. What do you see shaping up here in the last weekend of the season?
The Angels have been one of the hottest teams in baseball in September, and I think they're going to ride that out to the end of the season and take that second spot.
So then you would see a one-game playoff between the Yankees and the Angels.
Neither team has that great of pitching, but I think I would take the Angels just off principle as a Red Sox fan.
I mean, if the Yankees or Anaheim, can they make some noise after they win that first playoff game? I mean, is it solidified right now that do we like Texas right here? Do we Kansas City obviously is very, very solid. With the best record in the American League, battling with Toronto. I like Kansas City personally. They were knocking on the door last year. I still don't have a lot of faith in Toronto, but could one of these teams that wins the wild card advance to the ALCS?
Oh, easily. There's so much parity in the AL right now where there's no dominant team. I think any of those teams you could see in the World Series, including both the wild card teams.
Yeah, and we head down the stretch too in the National League as well. And the Mets have got the division locked up. Obviously, St. Louis, who's there every single year. The Dodgers locked up the division. They have the 1-2 punch with Kershaw and Greinke. Then you've got the Cubs, and you've got the Pirates.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about familiarity. I think, I like the Cubs. I like that one-game ace that they can wheel out there and win that game come Tuesday.
Arrieta's having the greatest second half in baseball history for a pitcher, so I think that whenever he's on the mound, they're going to win. And then if Lester pitches like he has with the Red Sox in the postseason, they're going to be really tough to beat, even with how good the Cardinals have been.
How important that is that if the Cubs actually get into a 5-game series, if they can get past that first-round playoff, how important it is for the Cubs to have somebody like John Lester, who's, been on a winning team. Mm-hmm. He's won World Series. And then you got to think that's going to help the Cubs down the stretch.
Yeah, the majority of their roster is like around 23 years old, so having a veteran there who's won World Series, who's been in the playoffs a lot, and has had success there is very key for them.
And Joe Madden, the manager, the loosey-goosey style he has, the guys in the clubhouse, he has been to a World Series in the past with, the Devil Rays, the Rays, as you would call it. But, I mean, they made leaps and bounds in that first year under Joe Madden. Mm-hmm. And I guess if we're looking for a little bit of a story this year in Major League Baseball, and all we've seen is the ho-hum Giants or, I guess maybe the Cubs and the Royals could be that story.
Yeah, that'd be a very exciting World Series matchup. You got a lot of youth on both teams, great defensive players all across the board. So I think that'd be a great matchup.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, what do you think of who do you like right now?
If I were to pick right now, I would go Blue Jays and Mets.
Blue Jays and Mets. I think the Mets are a live team. I don't like the whole Matt Harvey situation. I don't like what's going on there, and I don't know. Just something about the Mets. I just don't have a good feeling for it.
I don't know. I feel like it's like one of those years where they've just caught lightning in a bottle, and I really think that'd be an exciting World Series.
All right, listen, how'd you play in your game the other night?
Played okay. It's fall
Rec
league,
basketball. It's fall league. He's out there on the court. You got a few months before tennis season starts. Listen, good job. We'll see you in the second half. I will take a second. I will bring in Mike tomorrow. And, Mike, there's so much going on, right now. Not only locally, obviously, with the ECC and football and soccer and everything, but there's a lot going on nationally, too. And
soccer.
Soccer.
Break soccer, will you?
Yeah, come on now. Now, the big thing this past week nationally and locally, too, is also, Ann Donovan has stepped down as the Connecticut Sun head coach. A month ago or so, the day had reported, and you reported that she was possibly coming back.
I think we all thought she was, Keith. I don't think that exit interviews with players went so well, and I think her communication skills left something to be desired with the players, and that's something that she's had to address before, and I think this time she said, "I'm done."
Well, I think we both can say after spending some time down at the arena and stuff like that, there's been a different feel in that building the last 4 years and the last 3 years than say in years past.
Oh yeah, I mean she's a nice person. She's just not warm and fuzzy, as they say, and you know, not that you necessarily have to be. This is pro sports, but
Sure.
I think the my way or the highway stuff just doesn't work anymore.
Mike, you can't speak for them, but do you think the fan base wants to see a change as well?
Yeah, I mean the fan base just wants to win, and I don't
Okay.
think they
All right.
they looked at her as like, well, she's the one who's going to lead us. You know, whoever gets the job is going to inherit a very good team next year.
Yeah, I mean, you said they're going to be healthy and they have the number 3 pick. I mean, would Ann have come back, Mike, if they had a chance to land Brianna Stewart? If they had the number 1 pick, would Ann just put everything aside and say, okay, I'm going to come back. I want to coach this team.
I'm guessing no.
So you really don't think that
because
mattered? I didn't play.
To me, I mean, look, Stewart's the best player,
Right.
but the player they get at 3 is going to be pretty darn good too.
Okay.
And so, and with what the other stuff they had coming back, I think she left on principle this time.
No, okay. You're listening. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying listen to Game Day here on day.com. It's halftime. 7-6 right now. Ledyard over New London. This is the MJ Sullivan halftime show. It's the sports doctor making a house call with many of his guests, and Mike DeMauro is my halftime guest today. And Mike is nice and dry and warm in the booth. And Mike, you told me last year I will never not watch a high school game from the sidelines. Were you fooling me last year?
Except when I've been sick all week and it's rainy and windy out.
Yeah, you got it. Big weekend.
Exception to the rule.
All right, big weekend coming up this weekend in college football, Mike. And, when you start getting 4 or 5 weeks into the season, with college football, you start to see some of these teams, especially in the SEC, the ranked teams playing each other. I mean, Alabama with a must-win, must-win situation at Georgia. You've got Texas A&M and Mississippi State firing off this weekend. Oklahoma takes on West Virginia. All kinds of top 25 matchups. Right now this weekend, this is where it starts getting good in college football. Notre Dame is at Clemson this weekend. Another, a team outside the top 10.
That's the best game.
That's a huge game.
And I don't know that anybody who tells you they know how that game is going to go is lying, because they are, that game is going to be played in really, really bad weather.
Monsoon
I mean,
down there.
this would be nothing. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Clemson is real grass. I don't think it's a
Death Valley. It's real grass.
And that, I don't know how that's really going to play. That's going to
slow down the
change
Irish
the game. It's going to slow down everybody. And I tell you, the one thing, the biggest surprise to me about this game, no turnovers yet.
No turnovers.
You've had a wet ball and wind, and they haven't put it on the ground. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Mike. When you're looking this weekend at college football, you're going to see some of these teams like a Notre Dame, like a Georgia, maybe an Alabama this weekend. These teams get picked off. It's hard for them to leapfrog and get back into that top 4 or 5 in the country.
Yeah, and with the way the playoffs are now, you get that feeling that we can't lose again now.
Right, especially if you're Alabama. If you're Nick Saban right now, you've already got 1 loss. You cannot lose again.
No, and they've got a tough road. This is a hard game this week.
Yeah, and Old Miss goes on the road and plays at Florida tomorrow. Florida's coming high as a kite after a bailout win against Tennessee.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think Old Miss will drill them tomorrow, because Florida needed 6 for 6 on 4th down last week just to win by a point.
It was a miracle play.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss is going to win the SEC.
They're going to hammer them tomorrow. Mike, we entered the quarter pole this Sunday in the NFL. We actually started last night, with the Ravens with just a crazy win over the Steelers. But right now you've got to think you've got 4 teams that have kind of separated themselves a little bit at this point. I understand the Patriots, the Broncos, the Cardinals, and do you want to throw the Bengals in the mix just yet? Do we want to wait and see on that team?
Green Bay,
obviously Green Bay, but are we ready to put Cincinnati in the conversation there yet? No. But I think Arizona's a very solid football team. If they can keep Carson Palmer upright, I think a team is going to win, possibly 11, 12 games out there, even because the division's down a little bit as well.
Now, I know this is sacrilege, Keith, but I'm not completely sold that the the Patriots are a great team.
Oh, come on.
yet
Are you
either.
serious?
Yeah, well, all right. They played Pittsburgh, that didn't have Bell
Sure.
or Bryant.
Sure.
They gave up 32 points at Buffalo,
Mike, that game was in
and
the bag.
and they played St. Bernard last week. So I mean, are they good? Of course they're good. Are they great? I don't
Mike,
know.
you
yet.
don't have the feeling
I don't know
that in 2 weeks they're going to steamroll Dallas without Romo, and then
Right.
they're going to go into Indianapolis and lay 60 on the Colts from the
They
whole
might.
Deflategate thing.
They might. They might. But again, when they play when they play somebody who's good and has its full team, let me know.
All right.
They haven't done it yet.
Well, I mean, I mean, listen, I'm
You
gonna
stop turning over the he's shaking his head.
His stat guru. No, he
Mr.
doesn't
Tennis
like.
over here.
No, but listen, I think we're all in agreement, except for you right now in this room, that the Patriots are actually a pretty darn good football team.
They are a good. But Keith, I don't know how good because I haven't seen them
All
play
right, but I
anybody
mean,
yet.
listen, the big talk in week 2 was that Buffalo was back and Rex Ryan was the guru, and they rolled them.
Buffalo's bad.
Any surprises in the NFL, good or bad?
I think
Are the Jets-
Arizona's a
Arizona's a good
yeah.
football team.
Bruce Arians is good coach.
They have to
He's a
keep
really
Palmer
good
upright,
coach.
though. I mean,
Yeah,
Carson
yeah.
Palmer is the key to the success
Yeah.
there. How about on the bad side? Colts?
Yeah, I'm shocked at that. I thought they were going to be, I thought they had, firepower left and right.
Right, and the Ravens right now should be 0-4.
Yeah. Although they're
Yeah.
don't count them out.
I know.
Don't count them out. But again, they're 1-3 and beat, and the only game they won, Michael Vick's the
Yeah, that's a good point right there. Who's BC playing tomorrow, real quick?
They're at Duke tomorrow.
At Duke.
in the rain.
Yeah. And Notre Dame's down at
Bet the under.
Bet the under. Mike,
Yeah.
thanks for a few minutes.
All right, Keith.
Listen, appreciate you keeping us on top of the whole thing with the sun too. I know it's close to your
Yeah.
it's right up your ballpark, and my dad's gonna be thrilled to have these answers.
Well, I'm glad. It's good to you tell him I'm here for him.
All right, and here for us is also Casey O'Neill. Casey joins the broadcast. He is back in the driver's seat.
Do the Suns still have a basketball team?
Yes.
I didn't.
Not the Phoenix
I didn't know
Suns,
that.
the Connecticut Sun. Casey, why are you starting that? Casey, you got a couple things to add before we get to this game nationally?
I do.
A couple things you want to talk about?
I do. I agree with Mike tomorrow that I don't know how good the Patriots are. I know that I think they might be the best team in football, and I trust them more than I trust any of the other teams you named. I trust them more, but they need to go and win in Denver.
Sure.
And that will convince me. Because I don't think there's a team in the AFC as good as the Packers, Seattle, and maybe Arizona, other than the Patriots. So I am going to have to see them, and I think Mike's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I trust them more, though. If you asked me, I mean, you nailed it. The Cardinals are a Carson Palmer hamstring or calf away from being irrelevant.
Right.
So I do think that. The thing about the Colts that people don't understand is the Colts are possibly one of the worst run organizations in all of sports.
Sure.
And what happened was that idiot that runs them
Irsay?
thought, the felon. He thought that they were closer to winning a championship than they were, and instead of saying, "Listen, I've got a great young quarterback. Let me develop Moncrief, Hilton, and Dorsett as my future. Let me get a young running back, and let me build this team, and maybe I won't win for a couple of years." He went out and signs Andre Johnson and Frank Gore, thinking that they were pieces that they were gonna. That team still has never built on they've never built a defense around it.
Right.
They're not contenders.
Well, they're very soft too. The offensive soft, the defensive soft, and they can easily get pushed around. That's for sure. Casey, this game here today, the rain has subsided, but it was an ugly first half. And in a game with which featured two big plays, one by Ledyard and one by New London. It's surprising how few flags there are and no turnovers.
Yeah, the no turnovers thing really surprises me because on a game like tonight, first of all, high school football in general, you expect turnovers. So a normal high school game, you expect turnovers. Tonight, it was not only pouring and pouring sideways, and the rain has subsided, but if you go outside, it's still cold, it's windy. Their hands are I mean,
Sure.
The fact that...
It's a very raw night.
Yeah, raw is a good word. Now, we saw the makings of turnovers. We saw Ebden put the ball on the turf once, fell on it. We saw Gomez put the ball on the turf, recovered. We saw what could have been, hey, if Jacob Commander wasn't heads up about the rush of Luke Saccone, and that punt gets blocked, that could have been a huge swing.
That could have been treacherous.
So, I mean, the turnovers were there, but I think more than anything else, the reason you're not seeing turnovers is because look at the plays that both teams are running.
Very conservative play calling.
Ledyard ran most of the game out of the wing tee, where every handoff was very direct. New London ran most of their sets out of the pistol shotgun that allowed them to have very low risk. You know where turnovers come from in games like this? When quarterbacks roll out, get blindsided, get stripped, receivers, that's what. There's been no space. No one's been running in space.
Yeah, 26 total offensive plays for the home team, the Whalers, only 4 passes. And 24 offensive plays. 24 offensive plays on both sides of the ball, and only 2 passes for Ledyard the entire first half. So there you see, you've got 6 pass attempts and only 1 completion this entire game.
And I talked to the junior voice of game day at halftime, and we both really still believe that we would have liked to have seen Luke Saccone attempt the field goal, except when we went out there and felt the wind.
It is pretty windy.
It is very windy, and I think kicking in general is a challenge. A field goal kick, even with the wind, because it's swirling, it's a cross breeze, so I can understand why they didn't go for the field goal there.
I still think a mistake will possibly cost the outcome of this game. I do think a strip sack, a fumble, a muff on a punt, an interception. Both teams, I don't think the other one has shown an electrifying offense right now, Casey, where they can burn the other team. Unless somebody gets out of position. Obviously the 2 big runs, but I think in the second half you're going to. A miscue, a sack, a strip, a block punt, like you said, Saccone's been knocking on the door the whole first half. I think that could have something to say about the outcome of this game.
Well, Ledyard hasn't moved the ball much at all. They had the 81-yard touchdown run by DeShields Sanabria. And then they had a drive or two where they got some first downs, but mostly inside the 30-yard lines and not really much more. They've had a bunch of 3-and-outs. New London, outside of that big run by Gomez on the first possession, New London hasn't moved the ball at all. Neither team has shown the ability to throw the ball in this weather. So I think you're right. I think that looking at the first half, New London really didn't look like it was moving the ball at all, and they've been very frustrated with their inability to move the ball, because with that great offensive line that they were really counting on. We don't know if Jelani Gilbert's going to make it back into the game.
Right.
He came off in the first half, which is one less playmaker for them. Ledyard showed signs of moving the ball, but then they got out of. But then New London figured out that wing tee bunch, so they have not shown that they can move the ball out of that spread.
Does somebody from Ledyard's side of the ball, other than Manny and other than Ebden, have to step up and make a play? Do they have to get the ball to Saccone? Max Ebden, does he need touches? Or is it just going to be this close to the vest thing? Hopefully we can pop one by Coach Jimmy Bunicor.
Well, the 2 things we haven't seen from the Ledyard offense, we haven't seen Ebden keeping the ball much from the quarterback
Yeah,
position.
just that first drive where he kept it twice, Casey. That was it. Other than that, it's been all Manny.
Well, because you can't keep it out of that power wing tee. The only formation that he can really be effective keeping the ball out of is when there's spread and there's space in the middle of the field. So if Ledyard stays in the spread, I would say look for Ebden to play a key role from a quarterback keeper position, and you got to get the ball to your playmakers. They haven't tried to get the ball out to Carter. They haven't thrown the ball to Max Ebden. They've tried a couple times to get it to Luke Saccone, to no avail. And Jimmy Bunicor said we would see some other kids, some youngsters out, like Kenny Turner, out on the field. But in the weather conditions, I don't think he wanted to rely on the freshmen to try to do that. On the other side of things, Keith, I don't know what New London's going to do. They haven't shown any real diversity in formation or approach. They've had very limited success. I keep waiting to watch Gomez
on the edge,
and I haven't seen it. So I'll be very interested to see what happens to the adjustments these guys make at halftime.
Yeah, I'd like to see Roman go up and get a ball or two. He's a big, strong kid. He's a big target. And, whoever is defending him on the Ledyard side of the ball is somewhat of a mismatch. I know, Sacone's a very, very good defender, but, Roman's got a little size out there. He's got a little speed. And, why not trust your big man to go up and make a play and throw it up from every once in a while?
And there's no more rain right now, so the rain it's falling, but it's not nearly as hard as it was early. It's much more of a mist than a rain. If I were Coach Miranda, I might on my first possession, providing that Ledyard doesn't score, I might on my first possession hand the ball off 3 straight times up the middle, because on my next possession I'm going to take it out of the stomach and hit Roman on a quick seam. So I might set something up that way, because I think you're right. You got to get the ball into the hands of your playmakers.
The element of surprise, says Casey O'Neill, Coach Casey O'Neill, who returns home tonight to New London High School. Got to dry in the house when you walked in here tonight, Casey.
We are ready for sets because it was wet. We are ready for second half action here at New London High School, where Ledyard leads 7-6. The third quarter is brought to you by Lawrence and Memorial Hospitals. The Whalers will kick off, going from left to right in those beautiful green and gold jerseys and yellow pants. Jacob Commander, the freshman kicker, to kick it deep back for Ledyard. Standing at his own 25-yard line is Luke Saccone. Low end over end kick taken by Carter at his 35, and Carter heads back straight up the field for a nice gain to the 45-yard line. Ledyard will have good field position at its own 43-yard line.
17 yards on the return. When your up man takes it for 17 yards, you've got to be close to midfield, and that's where Ledyard is at.
Tough to kick on a night like tonight as well. That ball, if you get it up into the wind, does not go as far. So Ledyard will come out in its spread. Trips right. They send Saccone as the lone wide left. DeShield Sanabria is the running back. You've got Trips right. Ebden in the shotgun. Ebden hands to DeShield Sanabria, breaks a tackle, eludes Roman, gets to the outside, has the sideline, and out of bounds all the way down to the 39-yard line of New London High School is Manny DeShield Sanabria.
Quick feet by the big man, keeping his wheels moving. Great pickup. Way to start the second half by the Ledyard Colonels.
And somewhere on the sidelines, his uncle Pasta's yelling, "Pumpernickel!" That's a pumpernickel. If you haven't checked out
He's a character.
If you haven't checked out the video package by Peter Wappy focusing on Jose Pasta Sanabria at the Ledyard High School, you got to check it out on theday.com. First and 10 Ledyard from the New London 40. Ebden in the shotgun. Again to DeShield Sanabria. This time he bounces off a tackle, heads to the left sideline, cuts it back inside again, and will be down towards a first down marker. Elusive, powerful running by Manny DeShield Sanabria.
Yeah, the ability to bounce things outside by Sanabria in that play, that was all Manny. Again, very, very workmanlike. He has got 20 carries already in this ball game. 21, I'm sorry, Case.
That's going to be a first down. Ball is at the 30-yard line. Ledyard now going with a little bit more of a power look. Saccone is the single split left. Ebden hands off to DeShield Sanabria. He cuts it inside right tackle and gets about 6 yards on first down. Churning up big chunks of yards is Manny DeShield Sanabria.
Yeah, 22 carries for 202 yards for Manny DeShield Sanabria.
That is a workman-like effort on a cold and rainy night here in New London.
Old school football, Casey.
New London and Ledyard have seen their share of huge running events. Of course, I was there the day that Jamal Johnson rushed for 7,600 yards in a big win against the Ledyard Colonels in 1989. In the shotgun, Ebden rolls left, looking for Saccone. Saccone's not there, so Ebden's going to keep it, and drilled out of bounds by Oscar Calcano is Ty Ebden after a gain of maybe 2. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 with the ball at the 25-yard line. Our first big play of the second.
And that is a senior quarterback not forcing a play there. Saccone was covered on the outside. He tucked it and ran it and got some positive yardage. That's what you like to see out of your senior leader at quarterback for the Ledyard Colonels.
They tried to find Saccone that time, but well covered by the New London secondary, and the senior leader wisely tucked it up. And he's a tough kid. He took the hit. Ebden's a tough kid. After the Cranston tough. East game, the junior voice of Game Day went up to him and said, "Does it hurt when you get tackled?" And he looked at him. He goes, "No." He was like, "Oh, these pads on. It feels pretty good. I actually like to go and find contact." That's your quarterback.
He's a tough kid. I've spent a lot of time around him in the last 2 years. I'll take him on my team any day of the week, including Friday nights.
Well, that's where he is right now as the Colonels line up for a 3rd and 5 play at the New London 25-yard line.
Casey, 2-down territory here for the Colonels?
Absolutely. They will not do. You will see that they're going to hand the ball off out of the shotgun here. I'll bet you bottom dollar. Twin right for Ledyard. Saccone split left. Ebden shotgun. Hands off to DeShield Sanabria, and then Ebden keeps it himself. Ebden, the only guy that can tackle him is the official. And down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line, and I think Ty Ebden has a touchdown if he didn't run into the official.
Yeah, good read that time by Ebden. He pulled it out of Sanabria's belly, got 15 yards, and you know what? Ty's not afraid to run. He's got some wheels, and he can make some plays out there.
Terrell Martinez, we've just found out, came out of the ball game, the inside linebacker. They ran it right to where he would have been had he been in the game.
Good decision-making that time by your senior quarterback. Back-to-back plays, tuck and run on a pass that was not there, and then he kept it himself, Casey, and got a good, solid pickup.
First and goal, Ledyard, just inside 10 to the 6-yard line. Ebden in the shotgun. Rolls left, runs option, keeps it himself, heads for the end zone, and he'll come up just short, down to about the 2-yard line. Ty Ebden, that time, had no intention of pitching the ball to Shield Sanabria. He was keeping that one all the way.
No, Ebden on a mission. You can tell in that third down play when he put his head down and got some positive yardage. He is ready. He is ready to play football. He is not afraid of contact. Big run by the senior quarterback.
Second and goal, Ledyard with the ball at the 3-yard line. They go back into the power bunch wing T that they showed earlier in the game. Saccone, DeShield Sanabria, and Carter. Ebden pitches to DeShield Sanabria. DeShield Sanabria puts his head down and barrels into the end zone for a Ledyard touchdown.
23rd carry of the night, scores Pater for the Ledyard Colonels.
But more importantly, the second time he's gotten into the end zone, Manny DeShield Sanabria with his second touchdown, and that puts the Colonels on top 13-6, and Luke Saccone comes on for what could be a crucial extra point. The kicking conditions are very difficult tonight, and this would force New London to go for 2 if he makes this extra point here. Snap, good, hold, good, kick is up, and it is good. Nice job by Luke Saccone, and that will bring your score to Ledyard 14, New London 6, 9:14 remaining here in the third period. Great first drive by the Colonels.
Yeah, power football out of a couple different formations that time. We saw the spread, we saw the bunch, we saw the wing T, we saw a rollout quarterback keeper. We saw a little bit of everything that time on that drive by Ledyard. They came out, took the opening kickoff, Casey. Good field position on a short kickoff. Upman took it up, and they did what they had to do to regain control of this football game.
Yeah, that was a stinging shot right there by the Colonels. Certainly knocked New London down. And, they're going to have to respond. The third quarter is brought to you by Lawrence Memorial Hospital. Lawrence Memorial has 2 ways for you to get expert non-emergency care with less cost and less waiting than a visit to the emergency room. At L&M, our 2 walk-in locations on Howard Street in New London and the Stop and Shop Plaza in Stonington offer you more convenience and more services with no appointment necessary. From rashes to gashes and routine physicals too, at Lawrence Memorial, they're here for you. Coming soon, a new walk-in location opens up right in Waterford. Lawrence and Memorial Hospital.
Casey, as New London's back there ready to receive this kickoff, this drive may be gut check time for the Whalers as far as, how the second half plays out. Quick score by Ledyard. New London hasn't done too much offensively as we look at the end of the first half. Could be gut check time here.
Souza, Benson, and Shan all deep for the Whalers. Saccone approaches, and he kicks the ball low, end over end. It bounces down to the 22-yard line, where Shan dives on it for New London as the ball hit the turf, and that's where the Whalers will set up 1st and 10 from their own 22.
Whalers offense will search for answers in their first drive, Casey. Again, we talked about it at halftime, possibly getting Roman involved a little bit. And outside of that big run by Gomez in the first half, that New London offense didn't have a lot of identity.
No, and they came into the season thinking that big senior-laden offensive line was going to be their sort of identity on both sides of the ball. Well, now's their opportunity to step up and run the football. Snap to Gomez is good. Gomez hands straight up the middle to Souza. Not there. First down right there. Big number 75. Tanner Daggett stacking up the middle of the line along with Mike Leandri. Nothing there, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 9.
12 carries for 16 yards tonight for Souza, and he's had a tough time running the football against that Ledyard defensive front.
Souza, talented runner, but prefers to be out on the edge. He's not trying to, he's not going to do much when he's running in between tackles and there's nothing there. New London sends Parker split left. Lopez split right. Sousa's in the backfield. And we're going to have a jump. That time, Gio Lopez from the wide receiver position jumped a little bit early.
Happy feet on the outside edge by the London Whalers.
Whalers saying that it was offsides, but no, it's a legal procedure, and that's going to back them up 5. So New London's going to be backed up to inside their own 20 now, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 15.
Only the second Whaler penalty of the game. 2 penalties for 10 yards so far. Pretty clean football game thus far.
Twins left for New London. Gomez rolls right. Gomez looking to throw. Out in the flat, it goes incomplete. He was looking for Parker. Nothing there. Elijah Parker incomplete, and that's going to bring up 3rd and long. Melquan Gomez that time had some time, but couldn't find Parker.
Yeah, these are the positions right now this New London offense does not want to be in. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, an aggressive Ledyard defense. Tough down and distance right now for the Whalers. They're backed up deep in their own end.
Parker goes split left. Lopez split right. Look for big Major Roman. He is the tight end. It's on the right-hand side. Sousa's alone set. Melquan Gomez, straight drop. Plenty of time. Now he's rushed. Tries to throw. Downfield it goes. Nothing there. Tipped in the air and intercepted at the 45-yard line by number 57, Jeff O'Hanlon. Flag on the play. That ball was up in the air. It was tipped by Roman, and a bunch of Colonels were around it. O'Hanlon with the interception, and Ledyard with a big defensive stop will get the ball at the New London 45-yard line with 8:11 remaining here in the 3rd period.
Yeah, that ball was up for grabs in triple coverage, Casey. And 9 times out of 10, when you see a ball tipped up like that by a defender, it usually gets picked off. Great defense that time by Ledyard. And Gomez on that play actually pumped once, tucked the ball under, kept moving to his right, and then threw kind of off balance across his body. Very, very difficult play. And it will be a personal foul assessed on the Whalers, so tack on 15 yards on top of good field position.
Wheels starting to come a little loose here on the New London machine.
The gut check time coming up soon.
Now you've got the ball. You got the opponents knocking on your door. You're down a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. The Colonels are feeling good. Let's see what New London's defense can come up with. Ledyard trips right. Single wide left is Saccone. DeShield Sanabria is the lone set. Ebden, quarterback keeper. Ty Ebden is ridden down really quickly that time. Dante Ford, the middle linebacker of the Whalers, was there. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, 9 carries for 32 yards for Ebden here in this game. Was keeping that the whole way. Good job by the London defense, standing up and making a play.
2nd and 10 with the ball at the 32-yard line of the Whalers. 7:45 remaining here in the 3rd period. Thank you out there for joining us on Game Day, live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien. Stat Guru is to my left. Ebden in the shotgun for Ledyard. Ebden puts it in the gut of DeShield Sanabria, keeps it himself, straight up the middle, goes Ty Ebden. He'll be down close to a 1st down. It's going to bring up 3rd and a yard as he gets down to about the 25-yard line.
Yeah, good decision-making that time by Ebden. He read the defensive end following Sanabria on the outside, decided to keep himself tuck and duck, Casey, and get positive yardage. 3rd down coming up for the Colonels.
3rd and 4. They mark it at the 25-yard line. Saccone goes left, twin rights for the Colonels. DeShield Sanabria is the lone setback. In the shotgun is Ty Ebden. Ebden rolls left on the option, pitches to DeShield Sanabria. DeShield Sanabria breaks the tackle, cuts to the left. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Ledyard. Manny DeShields Sanabria, perfectly run option by the Colonels.
And that's what happens when the quarterback keeps the ball and goes up the gut time and time again. You soften up the edge of the defense. Great decision-making by senior quarterback Ty Ebden. He is in command on the field right now for the Colonels.
20-6 on the 3rd touchdown by Manny DeShield Sanabria. Luke Saccone comes in for the extra point, looking to make it a 2-score game.
That play was Ebden selling the option down the line all the way.
Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is high, and it is good. And with 6:52 remaining here in the 3rd period, your score now, Ledyard 21, New London 6, and the Whalers will have to get something done. The Ledyard sideline is full of energy. The New London sideline searching for answers.
Right now, I mean, it's just Ledyard's flexing a little muscle. That's all they're doing. They came out and they marched the ball down the field to start the second half, Casey. They forced a big turnover, on 3rd and 14, and there was no secret to what they were doing there. They mixed up the option a little bit, a little dive play by Ebden, and, finally Pater, when you start hammering the middle of the field, when you pitch that ball at the right time, that's the senior quarterback making a play.
Well, we said at halftime that there hadn't been any turnovers, and we hadn't seen Ebden keeping the ball at the quarterback position. And what happened? We got a turnover, and Ebden, after keeping the ball from the quarterback position, was able to lead them to a touchdown. So Ledyard pretty much went right to script off of what we thought they needed to do. We said on the other side of things that New London has to try to figure out some kind of offensive identity. They have not done that.
Yeah, they got to move the chains, Casey. They got to start with 10 yards at a time. They got to move the chains.
That false start penalty really hurt them last time. Saccone will kick off for the Colonels, going right to left in the white jerseys with the yellow pants. The Whalers awaiting the kick. Souza and Benson back at their own 20, the green tops with the gold pants and the beautiful yellow helmets. Low squib kick on the ground, and it's taken by Kevin Shan. Shan takes it to the left sideline, cuts it back inside Kevin Shan with a nice return to about the 45-yard line. So New London will have good field position on a nice run by junior Kevin Shan.
Good field position to start good field position to start this drive here by New London. And I got to be in Gomez's ear right now if I'm Coach Doreen Miranda, and I'm saying, listen, we're going to rely on you a lot here, son. You're going to have to make some plays. New London's got to find a way to generate some kind of offense right now, because outside of that one big run, Casey, they have really struggled.
Senior Greg Newkirk, senior Sean Brown, senior Anson Wang, senior Bobby Maynard. These are the kids.
The offensive line.
Those are all offensive linemen. They need to step up. Gomez, straight drop, has time. No one's there. Throws it in the flat. It goes to Roman, and Roman's up towards the first down marker. First time we've gotten a Major Roman to actually make a catch inbounds today, and it's good for almost the first down.
Yeah, safe pitch and catch, positive yards, down in distance, 2nd and 2. Now New London has got a lot of options right here. It balls at midfield, too. They've got good field position right here. Build off that drive.
New London has not gotten playmakers into space. Let's see what they come up with here. Trips right, Roman, Lopez, and Parker. Trips right for New London. Souza's the lone set. Gomez from the shotgun. Gomez, keeper. Gomez breaks a tackle. Gomez dives forward for a Whaler first down. That was all Melquan Gomez, because he was captured in the backfield. Colin Krauth had him, and instead Gomez broke a tackle and got the first down.
Yeah, Gomez showing his athleticism. He was dead to rights. Krauth had him. He kept his feet moving, leaned forward. By 2 chain links, Casey O'Neill, he got that first down.
1st and 10 Whalers inside of Ledyard territory. Ball is at the Colonel 47-yard line.
That was a big first down by the Whalers there. That was a very, very positive start.
A stem the tide first down. Parker and Lopez, twins right. Gomez drops, rolls, has time, looking, no one there, pressured. He's going to keep it himself, and Melquan Gomez will run out of bounds at the 45-yard line after a gain of 2. He was being pursued that time by the Ledyard Colonel defense. Justin Carter was putting some pressure on him. Colin Krauth, and plenty of time that time for Melquan Gomez, but nothing available.
Yeah, great job, Casey, in the secondary that time by Ledyard. That zone is, played pretty well. Nobody running free down the middle of the field, nobody free on the sidelines, and Gomez had to keep it. He wants to throw it, but he can't quite pull the trigger.
We're going to get a penalty on that play, a hold against the Colonels, and that is a big play. Now, what that was a defensive holding in the secondary,
right?
And that's why no one was running free.
This is true.
So Gomez, who had time to throw and rolled to the weak side. Now, that's one thing. We've seen it twice where he's rolled to his weak side, and that's very difficult for a quarterback to throw across his body like that.
Across his body, yes.
We saw a great throw last week by Brody Labby of Wyndham, doing that, throwing it by rolling opposite, but it's a tough throw for a quarterback. Gomez in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Souza. Rolls left. Hits Roman. Roman gets a block. Major Roman breaks a tackle. Major Roman's in the clear. Major Roman rumbling, stumbling down inside the 10-yard line to the 9. First and goal, Whalers. Major Roman with a major play. And the momentum now seems to go over to the Whalers, looking to get back into this football game.
Yeah, I've been trying to call his number all game long. He's a big target. He's athletic. He can run. A short pass and a great run by Major Roman.
We talked about that at halftime. Get the ball in his hands, and they have listened. Handoff. Souza. Souza breaks a little tackle, but again, no running room there. Devin Souza has been trying to run in between the tackles, but there has just been nothing there. Second and goal, New London, ball on the 6-yard line.
This is a big drive here for New London. They can get right back in the game with a touchdown here. Very important that the Whalers get 6 points right now.
Yeah, this is 3-down territory
It
right
certainly
here.
is.
They are going, this is 3 shots at getting a touchdown.
And get Gomez on the edge, too, to make some plays. He looks pretty comfortable out there right now.
Parker and Lopez split left. Souza's the lone set. Gomez. Time. Gomez. And he's sacked. Daggett. Big Tanner Daggett. Number 75 nails Melquan Gomez, and that's a huge loss. Ball all the way back to the 15-yard line where it will be 3rd and goal.
That's the one thing you don't want to do if you're Gomez in that position is take a sack and cost yourself some field position. I like Gomez on the edge. I really do, Casey. Get him out there moving his feet, and that defensive line for Ledyard stepped up big time.
Well, Ledyard runs that 3-4. Daggett, the nose tackle, toughest place, pressure right up the middle.
You like saying that name, too.
Well, you know that as a Tom Brady guy, we don't like pressure up the middle. Snap goes to Gomez, looking to get it in the end zone to Roman, throws it up in the air, incomplete. Great defense by Ledyard's best corner cover, Luke Saccone. But that ball underthrown, you got to get it up in the air where he can make a play.
He's 6'5". We saw that in the first half as well. Twice the ball has been down by his feet. He's a big man. Throw it up. Let him jump and go get it and make a play.
A very difficult situation. New London 4th and goal.
Casey, he'll never catch that ball.
From the 15-yard line. You can't catch it if you don't put it up there for him. Lopez and Parker split left. Roman split right. Gomez going to do it again. This time he puts it up in the air. And again, Luke Saccone has position. And this time he intercepts it in the end zone. Touchback. Ledyard, again, he couldn't get it deep enough. Great defense by Luke Saccone.
Saccone is on the inside of Roman the entire time. He did not give him any kind of space. And Gomez has got to throw that ball to the outside so Roman can make a play on it. He throw the ball to the inside, Casey. That's where the defender is. Great defense by Luke Saccone.
Luke Saccone is the best cover guy that Ledyard has, and you saw textbook coverage right that time. He got inside like boxing out in basketball. The only way that Roman was going to get there was going to have to be to climb his back.
3 for 10 with 2 picks so far for Gomez in this game.
Ledyard with a big defensive stand back on the attack from their own 20-yard line. Ebden hands the ball off to DeShield Sanabria. Nothing there. Oscar Calcano leading the way again for the interior of the New London lines. No gain, 2nd and 10.
New London's going to have to call on their defense here to make a play and get a quick 3 and out and keep that good field position that they have right now.
4 minutes remaining here in the 3rd period. 21-6. Ledyard on top with the football at their own 20-yard line. They have a 2nd and 10. New player package coming in for the Colonels. We've seen the Colonels run the spread. We've seen them run a bunch wing tee. This time they're going back to that bunch wing tee with a new set of player personnel. That means that senior Ty Ebden will be under center. Ebden hands the ball off to Saccone. Saccone around the right tackle, right edge. Saccone gets the sideline. First down, Colonels. Luke Saccone with a gain of 12.
Other players getting touches and getting involved a little bit this time for the Ledyard Colonels. Saccone takes it off the right edge, turns the corner, shoulder pads upfield, gains 11 yards.
Big first down
Huge
for the Colonels, all the way up to the 34-yard line. 1st and 10, Ledyard, and we're now down to 3:35 remaining here in period number 3. Staying in that tight wing tee bunch formation, Ebden under center. Ebden pitches it to Manny DeShield Sanabria, and DeShield Sanabria with a tough run off the left, in between left tackle and guard for maybe a yard and a half.
His 26th carry of the night. He is 227 yards on 26 carries. Not a bad night's work.
That is a workhorse right there. That is a lot of effort. Running off the field is Roman for New London, so they're going to play this second down without one of their defensive stalwarts. And Ledyard player's slow to come off the field as well, so the tough game down there. A lot of guys hitting, and we've seen a lot of guys come off the field with little bumps and bruises, and the Colonels have a 21-6 lead.
Got a decent little crowd here now at London High School. Now the weather stopped a little bit, the rain has subsided. Get some fans in the stadium, and good football game here, Case.
Gotta love the folks that came out to brave the elements tonight. Thank you to all of you who are listening at home. You're listening to Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with Keith O'Brien. The Ledyard Colonels have a 21-6 lead with a 2nd and 6 ball at their own 35-yard line. Ty Ebden in the shotgun, and we are going to get a flag on the play.
Movement on the offensive line by the Colonels.
A dead ball foul, little offsides, a little illegal procedure. And that backs it up to a 2nd and now maybe 11 and a half.
Very well played game, Noah. It's only the 4th penalty all night long.
And they've all either been illegal procedures. We've had basically illegal procedures, offsides, and then a hold.
Third penalty tonight for Ledyard.
DeShields Sanabria gets the handoff, and somehow he comes out of it. Manny DeShields Sanabria's got the sideline. Manny DeShields Sanabria's got all the first down and more, and a flag. And how did Manny DeShields Sanabria get out of that jam in the middle?
Houdini, quick feet, going up the middle, picking and choosing spots. Very patient running that time by Manny, and he continues to be the workhorse for the Colonels on offense.
Huge
run.
I was about to call him down in the middle of the New London defensive line, and all of a sudden he bounces outside. This is not a small man. 6 feet, 185 pounds of sheer will. Manny DeShields Sanabria with a huge ball game tonight. One of the great rushing efforts in Canamela Field history.
That could be his best run of the night, too, right there. In traffic, busting tackles, bouncing it to the outside. I know he had that big 81-yarder, Casey, but that could be his best run of the night. He has 27 carries for 259 yards.
If he cracks 300 yards tonight, which I think he will, if he finishes with 40 carries and 300 yards, that will go down as one of the great rushing performances in the history of Canamela Field.
Now, that's a big-time performance.
That's saying a lot, because this is...
you've seen some players in here.
This is this is perhaps the pinnacle of fields in the ECC.
Well, listen.
I don't know what that Wheeler High School football
field is.
Not
much.
DeShields Sanabria with a handoff, breaks a tackle, and 9 more for Manny DeShields Sanabria. Wow, what an effort. I don't know what else to say about this young man. He has had quite a ball game tonight.
Tough running up front for the Colonels. Right now in New London, they are back on their heels defensively, and there's no secret to what Ledyard's doing on offense.
No, they're giving it to 33.
That's it.
That's all they're doing. Out of every formation, whether it's the bunch wing tee or the spread, they are giving it to 33.
And they've showed every look here in the second half, Case.
From the shotgun, Ebden hands to DeShields Sanabria. DeShields Sanabria gets to the outside, has the edge, and he's run out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. But there is a flag on the play, and that is a flag in the position of holding. And I think they are going to get a holding on the Ledyard Colonels, and that's going to negate another big run by Manny DeShields Sanabria.
Appeared to be a takedown on the left side of the Ledyard offensive line, and that is going to be holding. Chop block, was the call. Cut block.
A takedown would make a lot of sense. Ledyard, one of the great wrestling programs in the ECC.
Sure.
I understand why a takedown would happen there, but that instead was going to back them up. So the Colonels shoot themselves in the foot that time, and that is going to take the ball all the way back, a huge penalty, all the way back to the 38-yard line, the Whaler 38-yard line, and that is going to bring up a 2nd and almost 20.
That is not the garden variety flag either. That's 15 yards. That's a cut block right there.
Well, they took what was a 15-yard gain, and instead you tack a 15-yard penalty. So I'm going to try my math. 15 plus 15, carry the 1, bundle a 10, bring it over. I'm doing the new Eureka math from the core mathematics. So we got a bundle. I've already lost track of how much 15 plus
30.
15? 30.
From Wheeler High School, the sports doctor.
No. See, when you went to high school, you guys used an abacus. Nowadays, we don't use those anymore.
They're very, very, very solid, small school in the ACC.
Listen,
boys and girls basketball team both made the state tournament last year.
If they
do not have a football team.
If they produced the sports doctor, that is all they need. Wheeler is a legit for that one. You could be the only one. You could be the only graduate in Wheeler High School.
I mean, they knew I had talent back in the day when I used to walk around the campus talking to myself. And
the campus?
Yeah, the campus.
The campus is like a 7-iron away.
Campus.
You can go end to end on that campus.
It's a campus.
I say it's 2 7-irons to get across the Wheeler campus.
It's a campus. Yeah, this is true, Mike.
It's a good point.
And Mike DeMar says, depends on who's hitting this 7-iron.
All right, second down and 19. Ball at the 38-yard line of New London. Ledyard with a second and long. Ty Ebden in the shotgun. Snap is good. Handoff goes to Manny DeShield, Sanabria. He breaks a tackle and he fumbles. Ball's on the turf, and it's going to be recovered by New London. Kevin Shan with the recovery at the 32-yard line. The first mistake we have seen by the Colonels.
An arm tackle by the New London defender. Manny had that ball way too high that time. He was trying to scoot through the hole, make a move. Ball popped out. And that's a first Ledyard turnover tonight? The first Ledyard turnover tonight.
And a big one, because if DeShield Sanabria doesn't fumble, he's about to be in the open. He's going to have a 25, 30-yard gain. That's a play that he has had a huge amount of success on tonight. But he coughed up the football. Very headsy. The ball was on the turf. It got knocked around. Very slippery. And instead, Kevin Shan falls on it, and the Whalers have the ball at their own 30-yard line. Gomez in the shotgun. Gomez pitches to Souza. Souza chased and pursued and drilled by Colin Krauth. Colin Krauth came from the opposite side of his outside linebacker position, pursued and drilled Devin Souza.
Souza's had a tough night so far. He's got 14 carries for 16 yards. Ledyard has done a very, very good job of bottling him up.
You cannot get to the outside slowly against the Ledyard Colonels. They pursue. Those ends, Carter and Krauth, pursue so well. And on top of it, we're going to get a huge penalty against New London that's going to take them all the way to their own 16-yard line. It is now 1st and 22.
It's sportsmanlike penalty and sportsmanlike conduct.
1st and 22, Whalers. Gomez rolls left, looking for a man. Nothing there. Still rolling, and finally throws it to the feet of Elijah Parker. There was nothing going on that play. 2nd and a country mile.
There's just nobody open. If the check down was covered, the long man was covered, and the intermediate receiver and Roman, all 3 guys coming across the formation and across the field that time, Casey, covered by the Ledyard Colonel defense. They're playing back in that zone. Safety help, corners, nowhere to go for Gomez whatsoever.
This is going to be a very, very difficult possession for the New London Whalers.
Tough down and distance.
2nd and 25, trailing by 2 scores, 1:33 remaining. Gomez, straight drop, pressured, rolls left, sends Roman, looking down the field, throws to the corner, incomplete, trying again for Parker. He had Roman running down deep down the field, but he couldn't get the ball to him as he was pressured and rolled out of the pocket.
Now, Gomez has got to let the ball go. He's holding on to it way too long. He's getting to the sidelines, Casey, and by the time he throws the ball to try to make a play, the ball is drifted out of bounds. I mean, he's got to give his receivers an opportunity to make a catch. Very, very, very tough to do that. He's just got to pull the trigger on it a little bit sooner. Take a chance, throw the ball, Case.
3rd down and long. Very long. 3rd and 25. New London with the ball. 1:25 remaining here in the third period. 21-6 Ledyard, and New London facing a very, very difficult 3rd down. Gomez. And we're going to get a flag on the play, and I think we have a timeout on the field. Ledyard. Timeout Ledyard. So with 1:25 remaining in the third period, 21-6 Ledyard. New London facing a long 3rd and 25. Let me tell you all about Lawrence and Memorial Hospitals. Lawrence and Memorial has 2 ways for you to get expert, non-emergency care with less cost and less waiting than a visit to the emergency room. You know, at L&M, they've got 2 walk-in locations on Howard Street in New London and the Stop and Shop Plaza in Stonington, and they offer you more convenience and more services and no appointment necessary. From rashes to gashes and routine physicals too, Lawrence and Memorial, they're here for you. Coming soon, a new walk-in location opens up in Waterford. That's right, in Waterford. That is Lawrence and Memorial Hospitals.
Yeah, the quarterback play right now here in the third quarter by Gomez. If I was on the sidelines right now, if I was Coach Miranda, I would be telling him to let that ball rip. Do not hang on to it so long. Make a play. Let your receivers make a play.
3rd and 25. Gomez in the shotgun. Straight drop. Lots of time. Throws the ball down the sidelines for Roman. Incomplete. Great defense by Manny DeShield Sanabria. And really nothing that was going on there. The ball was kind of behind Roman. But even if it was better thrown, the coverage was fantastic by the Colonels. And that is a huge, huge down and outs there for New London.
5 straight incompletions and throwing a pick along the way for Roman. He has looked very shaky throwing the ball here in the third quarter. He looked good early. He hit Roman on a short little pitch and catch, and Juan took it upfield. But in the last few times he's dropped back, Casey, just, unable to pull a trigger on the throw.
Commander stands at the edge of his own end zone. Snap is good. Kick gets up, and it is a low end-over-end kick that bounces at the New London 40-yard line and takes a 90-degree turn to the left, where it will be downed by Roman. And the Ledyard Colonels will have fantastic field position inside Whaler territory at the 44-yard line.
All right, so that fumble and that turnover did not hurt them one bit. Ledyard still has a chance right now to put their stamp on this game. Defense stepped up, played well, big penalty by New London. They really hurt themselves that time, put themselves in a very, very awkward down and distance.
21-6, Ledyard on top with the football. 1 minute remaining in the third period in New London territory at the Whaler 44-yard line. Ebden under center. Ebden pitches to DeShield Sanabria. Patient running off left tackle and fighting for about 4 on first down. Manny DeShield Sanabria, who is closing in on 300 yards tonight.
You've talked about that being could be one of the best games ever here. You've seen a lot of greats here yourself. You've seen Jamal Johnson. You've seen some of the players come and go over the last few years. It is a very, like I said, a lot of history here at New London High School.
Yes, the great Fletcher brothers, Ambrose and Cassie Fletcher, Shea Sanders, Jamal Johnson, Mike Morgan, some of the great players for Whalers, but also some great games by opposing teams on this field. Saccone gets the handoff. Saccone gets to the outside. Saccone will have a first down for Ledyard. Luke Saccone out of the wing tee takes to around the right end and gets all the way down inside the 30-yard line. And Ledyard has a first down. They will mark it right at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, I was at a game here last year, I believe on Thanksgiving Day, where Juwan Johnson for NFA ran for 300 yards. And, Exum Strong ran for almost 300 yards himself. I think almost 600 yards of total offense by those two players. Speaking of memory lane.
This field has seen its share of great games tonight. Manny DeShield Sanabria is putting his name among them. Another pitch to DeShield Sanabria, this time up the middle, breaks a tackle, and gets the ball down to about the 25-yard line, where it will set up a short 4 for Ledyard. That is the end of the third period. And at the end of 3, the score, Ledyard 21, New London 6. We are about to enter the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is brought to you by the M.J. Sullivan Automotive Center. Now, the M.J. Sullivan Hyundai, where no money down means no money down. You can lease a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport for no money down and only $279 a month for 36 months. They'll pay your first payment. They'll pay your upfront sales tax. They'll pay your registration and dealer conveyance fee. So you pay $0 down, only $279 a month, and you can get yourself a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport. Only at M.J. Sullivan Hyundai, corner of Broad and Coleman Streets, New London. You can see the entire inventory at mjsullivanauto.com.
Now, Casey, as we enter the fourth quarter here at New London High School, 43 runs by this Ledyard offense and only 2 passes. I don't think there's any secret what you're going to see out of this Ledyard Colonel offense in the final 12 minutes of the game. You're going to see a lot of Ebden. You're going to see a lot of Manny DeShields, and you're going to see that offensive line doing work up front. 43 runs as to only 2 passes.
And those 2 passes were at the end of the half in an effort to get into the end zone. So they really, when they can do what they want, they have not tried to throw the ball. Second down in about 4. Ball at the New London 25-yard line. Ledyard going left to right. Ty Ebden, the senior quarterback, out of the wing tee, will go under center. We've called Manny DeShield Sanabria a lot. Let's see what we got here. Pitch goes to DeShield Sanabria. Pressured, trying to get to the outside. Not much there. Chased down by the New London defense for a loss. Great job that time. The first man to get in was number 5. I can't tell because I think it's 54, Dante Ford.
Yeah, good penetration that time by Ford and the defensive line there by the Whalers. You know, kind of bottled up Manny a little bit, and he bounced it to the outside, and good stop there, and then it brings up a tough 3rd and 8 here for the Colonels. I would tend to think this would be 2-down territory as well for Ledyard moving forward here, Case.
3rd and 8, ball at the 28-yard line. Ebden under center. Ebden to DeShield Sanabria. Sanabria cuts it back inside, tries to get to the right side, gains about 4. That'll bring up 4th and 4 with the ball at the 25-yard line. We'll see what the Colonels do here on 4th and 4. You said it was going to be 2-down territory. It looks like they're going to listen as they're keeping Ty Ebden on the field on this 4th and 3 with the ball sitting at the New London 25-yard line. New London needs to stop if they have any chance of cutting into this 2-score lead. Ebden hands the ball off to Saccone. Saccone tries to get to the outside. Saccone gets to the outside. Saccone's got the edge. Saccone has a touchdown. Luke Saccone. Touchdown. Colonels.
Players making plays. Playmakers make plays out there. Saccone has had his number called here a few different times in the second half, and he has had part of his yardage on every single carry, every single time he's touched the ball. Very, very good play. 4 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown on the night for Luke Saccone.
And they were so concerned about DeShield Sanabria inside that they pinched, and Saccone got the edge as he has on every chance they've given him. He stays in for the extra point. Snap is up, and New London jumps, and the kick does not get off. We're going to get a flag on the play, and we're going to get offsides against New London. Every time they've had Saccone run out of that wing tee, he's gotten the edge, and he's gotten 10 yards.
Now, he's made some plays out there, that's for sure. 46 carries for 369 yards for this Ledyard Colonel offense tonight, Casey. And they are literally pounding the ball down New London's throats.
We've seen Ebden, we've seen DeShield Sanabria with a huge game, and now Luke Saccone on the edge with a big play and a touchdown, and Ledyard looking to sort of put a little icing on this one right now as they are up 27-6 and showing no sign of letting New London back into this thing. Snap is high, kick is down, line drive, kick is up, and it is good. Luke Saccone finishes off what he started, 28-6. Ledyard on top with 11 minutes remaining here in the ballgame.
You know, this game was 7-6 at halftime, and basically Ledyard just came out and just, we're not changing a darn thing. We're going to keep running the football. We're going to try and outmuscle New London up front. We're going to push them around a little bit. Yeah, but there's been no secret here in the second half as far as the Ledyard Colonel offense goes.
No, and you saw how effective when you can run out of the simple set that they ran it with especially with DeShield Sanabria, how much it opens. When they go spread, it opens up Ebden. When they stay in that wing tee, it opens up Saccone. So regardless of what formation they run out of, as long as DeShield Sanabria is breaking tackles and making the big runs that he's made, it has opened up the field for a second option.
And it's very important, too. I mean, to have a guy like Saccone out there who can make a play on the edge. And like you said, I mean, you wear the defense down up front, and you get a little speed on the outside, Casey, and he turns it up the field, and you can have some big playability. He's a good football player. I like Luke Saccone. We'll see him a lot this year. He seems to do it all on offense and defense, and he punts as well. He's a jack of all trades.
He's on the field for every play. He's the punter. He's the place kicker. He kicks the extra points, and he's on all the offensive sets. That is a long-time, old-school player. Saccone, driving kick, comes down at the 25-yard line to Shan. Shan looking for room, nothing there, and Shan dragged down at the 30-yard line. Coming out of the pack is Manny DeShield Sanabria, and number 55 rather, Curtis Patsiga.
I guess if I'm Coach Miranda right now, I'm basically looking for somebody on my team to ignite a little spark. I mean, you had that big run by Gomez earlier. They had something cooking. towards the end of the first half, a little pitch and catch with Roman, but just somebody who's going to step up and make a play.
Gomez, the lone set. Gomez fakes the handoff to Commander, rolls right, hits Roman in the hands, and Roman drops it. He heard the footsteps that time. Justin Carter was coming up to make the hit, and Roman dropped it. He was trying to run before he caught it. And New London has changed up. They've got Jacob Commander in the backfield with Gomez. But that time, that play just simple drop.
Yeah, simple drop. And this New London offense is bogged down. They've only got 2 runs, Casey, of over double-digit yards. Obviously, the big run by Gomez.
New London brings Kobe Haley into the game. Gomez is looking for him, but he's pressured by Daggett. Gomez stops, throws the ball to the middle of the field, incomplete. He was looking for Roman up at the 50, but pressure from Daggett. And Gomez couldn't get the ball out in time, and that goes incomplete. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10 with 10:48 remaining.
Yeah, tough sledding right now for this New London offense. Just searching for any kind of combination of plays and or players to work, whether it's your freshmen, whether it's your seniors, your quarterback, your running back. Just let somebody make a play out there. And the Ledyard defense is playing extremely well too, Casey. Their front 7 is really, really strong. And I know you like your man Daggett up front. You like saying his name.
I like Tanner Daggett because he's an old-school nose tackle. He does what he's supposed to do. He pressures up the middle, gets a pass. Again, you're a Patriots fan. He's Vince Wilfork.
No, he is. Yeah,
He pressures the quarterback from the nose tackle position, stuffs the run, big player. Gomez rolls, pressured, goes back the other way, looking for Roman, incomplete. Nothing there. Great job by the Ledyard defense. Now they're starting to harass Melquan Gomez. That time, Curtis Patsiga was right there on him. And we're going to see Jacob Commander come out and punt it away with 10:42 remaining here in the ballgame.
Yeah, Gomez 2 out of 12 here in the second half, and we got 7 straight incompletions. So tough running and tough passing right now for the London offense.
If this score holds, New London will drop to 1-3. Ledyard will improve to 3-1. Ledyard with the big lead. Snap is wide, and Commander falls on it, breaks a tackle, but they're going to call him down. He fell on the ball at the 11-yard line. Oh, man. From bad to worse. Bad snap. Commander couldn't handle it. He dropped to a knee to pick it up, and that means Ledyard will take over at the Whaler 11-yard line.
Yeah, it's a tough situation right now for this New London team. I mean, it's boy, we've talked about some of the simple things, and whether there have been turnovers or whether there have been special teams, and right now Ledyard is starting to show that they're a little bit more of a seasoned team out there, Case.
Ledyard staying in that bunched wing tee. Ebden's under center. Ebden to DeShield Sanabria. DeShield Sanabria breaks a tackle, cuts it off left side, and gets about 4. Manny DeShield Sanabria with a nice run on first down. Gets the ball down to about the 8-yard line, where it will be 2nd and 7 from the 8.
Yeah, he's creeping up to about 300 yards tonight. 34 carries and 291 yards, says the stat guru.
That means that tomorrow you can sleep in, Manny.
Stat guru. Yeah, he is the stat guru.
Up to center, Ty Ebden. Ebden hands the ball off. Right up the middle it goes. And DeShield, is it DeShield Sanabria? I can't tell who it is because it was right into the center of the line with about 20 people. But whoever it was gets down to the goal line. Let's see who comes up out of there.
He muscled his way down to the 1-yard line. It would be 3rd and goal for New One on that play.
That was Justin Turner that time. Justin Carter, rather. Justin Carter took the ball that time and just put his head down. And it was just a big mass of bodies, both sides of the ball. But he got all the way down to the goal line where they're going to mark
close to a first down.
I think it is a first down. It is 1st and goal with the ball inside the 1. And that is another Ledyard first down. It'll be from the 1-foot line. Look for an Ebden keeper perhaps on first down. Ebden instead. And touchdown, Colonels. Ledyard tacking on another 6. 34-6 as the Colonels on 1st and a foot score the touchdown.
That was Manny on the carry. Just took it right up the gut. 4 touchdowns on the day from Manny DeShields.
I'm glad you guys could tell because I really still don't know who had that.
No, that was. Oh, Max Ebden. I'm sorry, Max Ebden on number 10. Max Ebden.
Snap for the extra point with Saccone in is good. Hold is good, and the kick is up, and it is good. And with 9 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the ball game, that is now Ledyard 35, New London 6. What a second half for the Colonels.
Yeah, big time effort here in the second half by Ledyard. The game was 7 and 6.5. It's 35-6 now, and Ledyard's imposed their will a little bit, and they imposed their will, up front offensively and in the defensive backfield. Casey, that has been their recipe for success right now. And New London is just a team that's kind of searching for some sort of spark, searching for some sort of positive plays, as we come down the stretch of this game with about 9 minutes left to go.
Well, it really started with that first mistake New London made, interception in the second half, allowed Ledyard to tack on another score, and subsequently we've seen New London with penalties. We've seen them botch a punt. But I got to say, the defense that Luke Saccone has played on Major Roman has been pretty much the major factor in the New London inability to throw the football. There are not many players who can match up one-on-one with Major Roman, but Luke Saccone has done it, and without him in the game, and with the Ledyard line being able to contain Devin Souza and the running game, the New London has not found another option. No one else has caught the ball.
No, I know. He's covered him very well in the middle of the field, and we saw on back-to-back occasions in the corner of the end zone. Saccone is not going to give Roman any space. Obviously, Roman's got a height advantage at Casey, but he's taken away certain parts of the field. Very, very good game here for Saccone. Roman's a big kid. He's a very, very big kid. He's a very dangerous target, and Saccone's defended him excellently.
Saccone's kick goes out of bounds, and New London will take the ball over at their own 35-yard line with 9:35 remaining in the ballgame.
Check out the video package Tuesday morning on theday.com. You will see the coaches on the sidelines. You will see the players. You will hear Casey O'Neill. You will hear us talking about Mike DeMauro. Probably not a little bit. But a very, very, very good video package coming out again this Tuesday on theday.com.
I'm sure you'll hear some pumpernickel from Pasta over there on the Ledyard sidelines. If nothing else, Game Day's genius Peter Wappy has turned Pasta into an appropriate star because he could coach anywhere in the country with that shtick he's got going on the sideline, and he would be the most entertaining guy out there. All right, New London with the ball from their own 35. We've got a new quarterback in the game for the Whalers. On first down, Parker Clark in for the Whalers, an incomplete pass. And so the Whalers, it looks like, is going to get some snaps to some of the other Whaler players. That's this Parker Clark. He is a senior. And his first attempt was incomplete, bringing up 2nd and 10, ball at their own 35-yard line. New London with the ball, down 35-6. They send Elijah Parker wide left. Gio Lopez split right. Parker Clark hands off to Commander. Commander tries to get to the outside, and not much there. Wrestled to the ground by that stout Colonel defense. Jacob Commander.
The future of New London football, too. Jacob Commander, young freshman, very, very good football player. Going to see if he can do some work here, try and get New London moving in the right direction, Casey. They have been stuck in quicksand this entire second half.
3rd and 10, down under 9 minutes here remaining in the ball game. 35 for the Colonels, 6 for the Whalers. It was 7-6 at halftime, folks, and 28 unanswered by the Colonels. Actually, 35 unanswered by the Colonels, 28 in the second half. Trips left for the Whalers on 3rd and 10. Clark hands it off to Commander. Commander breaks a tackle, cuts it back inside, spins off another tackler, gets the first down mark. I'll tell you, Jacob Commander, oh my, he's a freshman, huh?
Yeah, tough run up the middle, kept his legs moving, a little spin, a little cut. Positive yardage for New London, just what they need right now in this ballgame.
What a big first down by Jacob Commander. That was just all will right there.
He is putting his stamp that he is going to be one of the future building blocks of this New London football team.
Gio Lopez wide left and Elijah Parker wide right. Clark Again, the handoff to Commander. This time, Commander just dives forward for a gain of 3. Not a lot there. Coming up out of the pack for Ledyard was number 73, the big lineman, Sean Hunley, came out of it.
5 carries for 24 yards for Commander so far in the game. Very workmanlike here in the second half.
Commander remains in the game as the lone set. New quarterback, Parker Clark, sends trips right. Lopez, Parker, and Roman. Handoff again to Commander. Then he trips and stumbles and falls forward for a gain of a yard. Trying to bounce it outside was Commander, but he tripped and fell to the turf right at midfield, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 6 for the Whalers. 7.5 minutes remaining here in the ballgame.
A couple of different players, Casey, here on this particular drive, getting touches. A new quarterback, obviously Commander in there at tailback. So in London right now, just searching for a little bit of production out of some different players.
Sophomore Gio Lopez along with sophomore Elijah Parker. So there's 2 sophomores playing wide receiver. Handoff again, it goes to Commander. And we talked about, the big senior offensive line of New London, but they started a junior quarterback in Melquan Gomez. The starting tailback, Devin Souza, a junior. The other tailback, Jacob Commander, a freshman. The wideouts, Gio Lopez, a sophomore. Elijah Parker, a sophomore. Kevin Shan, a junior. Xavier Benson was the only senior that we called in any skill position for New London today. So it's going to be interesting because they're going to come back with an all-new offensive and defensive line next year, but skill position players all over the place.
Yeah, well, I think moving forward the rest of this year, they're going to have to try and get some sort of production out of the quarterback because tonight Gomez had a very, very tough night, except for that big run. I know it's tough. I know it's high school football, but you've got to find New London's got to find something out of the passing game. Roman's a threat, a viable threat, as a big target, and you just reeled off a bunch of other skilled people as well. You got to find a way to get him the ball.
Well, I very much like Jacob Commander's running style.
Sure,
seems comfortable running it. Quite frankly, seems a little more comfortable running it in between the tackles than Devin Souza did. Souza seems like he really prefers to be out in space, where he's very, very effective. So maybe moving forward, the answer is to try to use Commander a little bit inside and Souza outside, and that might soften things up to get the ball to Roman. First down, Colonels, and they are going to keep the ball on the ground on first down for a gain of maybe a yard. That's going to be Saccone. And now we're down to 6 minutes and counting. 2nd and 10. Nothing there for Luke Saccone on first down.
Are those Ledyard numbers tougher for you to identify than the Fitch numbers?
Yeah, because the Fitch numbers were actually a product of being really tiny. These numbers are a product of someone thinking it was cool to, blend them out of the jersey. So, for those of you that can't see the jerseys, that's okay. Neither can we. Handoff up the middle to a jersey that I can't see. And it's a gain of about 1. I kidded with Coach Mike Ellis at Fitch. I joked with him about not being able to see his numbers.
Sure.
I'm going to give Jimmy Bunicor a call and say, you're the athletic director. What are you doing to me?
Sure, and I'm going to still continue to ask why they do not field punts.
No, they've tried. They just haven't had anyone kick to them tonight. 3rd and 9. 5:20 remaining here in the ball game. 35-6 Colonels on top. Ebden hands the ball off. It goes this time inside to one of his players, and we can't tell who it is.
It's 26.
Devin Condy on the carry. I'm going to have you just spot me. I don't know how you can see this.
I'm doing all right. I've got a couple guys in the booth next to me with binoculars on, so they're actually helping us all out. And, am I younger than you?
No, you're obviously healthier than me. Maybe I need to eat some carrots when I go home later on. Well, you know what it is, honestly? This is not an excuse. Actually, it is an excuse. I'm about to make an excuse.
No,
I've gotten used, in the last couple of years, I've gotten used to watching the video monitor of the live stream.
Oh, the basketball.
And calling the game on the video monitor.
The basketball?
And football. We've had the video monitor because we were live streaming video. I've gotten used to calling what I see on the screen. It's been a long time since I've had to look down on a field, and I'm going to be honest with you, folks. My eyes aren't what they used to be.
This is old school. This is at its very best.
It is. Timeout. Colonels on the field with a 4th down. 4:21 remaining here in the ballgame. Ledyard 35, New London 6. Were any other games played tonight?
Yeah, a lot of games going on tonight in the ECC, and We'll get a few scores for you here because I'm pretty good at this stuff. I'm usually pretty handy. NFA and Griswold right now. NFA up 27-0 as they close the end of the game there. Jawan Johnson, the electrifying quarterback for the Wildcats, with a 41-yard touchdown run. NFA trying to avenge last year's loss to Griswold. Bacon right now in probably a bit of a trap game, Casey. 13-0 over Stonington as they end the third quarter there. Tough to get up week in and week out. And as of right now, Wyndham is up 12-2 over Plainfield.
Two-run homer
at the end of the third quarter.
Two-run homer by Plainfield in the third got them to within 12-2.
So that's your out-of-town scoreboard right now.
For the folks at home, tell me how you get the out-of-town scoreboard.
I just get them off of Twitter. I follow the guys who are out there. Bacon 13-6 over Stonington right now.
So you're getting the out-of-town scoreboard through Twitter?
Yes.
That's very interesting. So modern technology at its finest right now, as the sports doctor is tweeting and twittering and getting his tweets and twittifying scores. As long as they're under 140 characters, you hear Twitter's going to get rid of the 140 characters. You know that,
yeah,
right?
But I don't really use Twitter an awful lot. I don't tweet per se. Are you on Twitter?
I am proud to say I'm not on Twitter. Because no one needs to listen to me talk about how I ate a bagel.
Yeah, the Wyndham final is now in 12-2, so that Wyndham offense doing what it had to do, 12-2 over Plainfield.
1st and 10 Whalers at their own 48-yard line. Handoff goes to Commander, and he is stuck by big Tana Daggett. My man Tana Daggett, and I say he's my man because I love nose tackles that play tough throughout the course of the game, and he is still playing tough.
He is your Vince Wolfhook protege right there. Bacon final over Stonington, 18-6 in a real tough game for the Bobcats.
Not only a trap game, but tough. They like to throw the ball. Sean Kelly's a fantastic passer, maybe the best pure passer in the league, and that's tough to throw. It was a tough night to try to throw the football.
Yeah, tough weather night across the board.
Parker goes wide right for the Whalers. Clark is in the shotgun. Snap. Hands off to Commander. Jacob Commander, nothing there. Great pursuit by the Ledyard defense. We're now down to 3.5 minutes left, and the Whalers are going to have a 3rd and long from right around midfield.
Yeah, 9 carries for 24 yards here for Commander in the ballgame. That is his 7th carry in the second half. So obviously Coach Miranda, making the switch from Souza to Commander, a tailback a little bit here down the stretch, and see what his freshman workhorse can do.
Well, you're looking at the future, some of the skill position players here for New London. These are the guys, not just the remainder of this year, but moving forward to next year. Let's not forget that Major Roman's only a junior as well. So, there's all the skill guys coming back for the Whalers. Parker Clark, the senior, in at quarterback for New London. Again, hands off to Commander. Commander inside, outside, bouncing around in the hole, nothing there. 3rd down, we'll bring it 4th down, and we're going to get a flag on the play and another flag on the play. As you like to say, Keith, some extracurriculars.
Yeah, it looks like probably a little bit of showmanship by the Ledyard defense on that after the play had been stopped for a loss.
I think they call that chippy, right? Is that what they call it?
Chippy down there, a little chippy. They're high school kids. It's allowed.
We'll see where the flag is. The officials on the field are saying dead ball, personal foul against the Whalers.
Oh, all right.
And that's going to give Ledyard 50 some yards, but it doesn't matter because New London's in the punt anyway. Just going to back up where Commander stands to launch that punt. For those of you who have been listening to us on game day tonight, live on theday.com, Casey O'Neill along with Keith O'Brien, the stat guru, the junior voice of game day. Everybody's in the booth tonight, and what a second half for the Ledyard Colonels. 28 points in the second half to break open a 7-6 ball game. They're on top 35-6 as we're now down to 2.5 minutes remaining in the ball game. Jacob Commander gets the snap, gets the punt off, and we're going to get a flag on a running into the kicker as the punt rolls all the way down to the 32-yard line of Ledyard. But we'll see if it's a roughing the kicker or a running into the kicker, which will depend on the official's judgment. They're talking it over now.
Good, crisp, clean football game for the first 3.5 quarters or so. Getting a little shoddy here down the stretch, Casey. Is that a word? Shoddy? Getting a little shoddy here down the stretch. A little chippiness, some mistakes, probably a little frustration on the New London side. And Ledyard still just kind of come board full bore. But this is a time of the game where New London's got to try and keep their composure a little bit. This is only the 4th game of the season. There's a lot of football left here moving forward for the New London Whalers.
That was a roughing the kicker call, which means it's going to be a first down for New London. They're going to move the ball all the way up to the Whaler 47-yard line. So the Whalers will have it 1st and 10 off of the roughing the kicker penalty. So with 2:18 remaining in the game, the Whalers will retain possession and likely have an opportunity to just run out the clock. Commander's the lone set. Parker Clark hands the ball off to Commander. Commander cuts it inside off of right tackle back towards middle field, and he'll be down right at midfield with a gain of 3.
Jacob Commander doing his thing in the second half. His 9th carry of the second half.
1:55 remaining here in the ball game. Commander with the 2-yard carry means it's 2nd and 8 for New London. Trying to get something positive to end this very, very difficult second half, where Ledyard has dropped 28 points in the second half, 35 unanswered after New London took a quick 6-0 lead on their opening possession. Melquan Gomez with a big run and brought it in after on another for a touchdown to put New London up 6-0, and it's been all Ledyard since. Manny DeShield Sanabria with an 81-yard touchdown run on Ledyard's next possession just absolutely silenced the crowd and silenced the Whalers, and from there 7-6 was your score at halftime, and then 28 unanswered points in the second half by Ledyard.
Yeah, a special shout out to our camera crew tonight. It's been a very, very difficult night as far as the weather goes. Outside, it's cleared up a little bit now. It's Shelly, Tim, and Peter. You guys doing a hell of a job out there with the cameras. Props to you folks.
Yeah, better you than me. I couldn't have handled it. You guys are tougher than I am. Hand off to Commander. Nothing there. Again on 2nd and short. He's going to be brought down by number 55, Curtis Patsiga. It's going to bring up 3rd and short. And we are now down to just over a minute remaining here in the ball game. But, yeah, we really can't say enough to what the game day crew does. We have it easy in the luxurious booths that we get to hang out in. We're warm, we're protected. It's really those guys down there who have to brave the heat and humidity one week, followed by the wind and cold the next, and now a sideways rain tonight. So also that Peter Wappy can turn out some of the best footage you ever see on Tuesday morning. So make sure you tune in Tuesday morning to see the Connecticut State Top 10, as well as the video package of Peter Wappy and what would be a Ledyard victory, as we're now down under 45 seconds remaining. Clark with a mishandling of the snap is going to be sacked. It's going to bring up 4th and long, and that's going to send Commander out for what will be the last play of the game, probably for New London.
Casey, I would probably say just what the doctor ordered for this Ledyard High School football team. Coming off of a loss last week at Bacon Academy, they came out, they imposed their will a little bit. Again, we talked about 45 runs in today's game versus only 2 passes. I think Coach Jimmy Buonicore has got to be very happy with his offense and with his defense as well. So, I mean, kind of the recipe for success, that is the run-out. That will be the end of the game. New London here searching for answers, Casey, as they've got, 5-6 football games, a lot of football left for the London Whalers.
Yep, they're going to have to turn things around because they still have tough games ahead of them, including NFA. Ledyard, of course, also with NFA. Now, we have been proud to bring you game day tonight from New London High School. Your final score, Ledyard 35, New London 6. What do we got next, Sports Doctor?
We are at Waterford next week. Waterford High School. We will have our first look at the Lancers.
So one more time, we're going to say goodbye here from New London High School with the junior voice of game day.
Thank you, everybody, for watching New London High School versus Ledyard on the Day.com Live.